with light freezing rain. Winter storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for central Indiana. For this afternoon and tonight, a winter storm continues with a wintry mix and then heavy snow. Travel will become difficult and may become impossible for some areas. And now the extended outlook for the period Thursday through Tuesday. A winter storm will continue Thursday, bringing heavy snow along with a threat of some blowing snow. Travel will remain difficult to impossible. Cold air late this week and early this weekend could bring wind chills near 10 below zero. Spotter information statement. Spotters are encouraged to report snow and ice amounts during the storm. This is NOAA All Hazards Radio KEC 74 in Indianapolis. Here is a winter weather statement. For the following counties in Indiana: Boone, Delaware, Hamilton, Hancock, Hendricks, Henry, Madison, Marion, and Tipton. Winter storm warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. Heavy snow expected.
What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are doing good. We're going to go ahead and get into the live stream here in 1 second. We're going to go ahead and finish up getting everything ready. But guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe with the system we are currently dealing with, because, you know, honestly, we are expecting a lot of crazy impacts out of the system here. So we'll be going over the latest coverage in regard to that here in a moment. So we'll go ahead and take a second here to finish getting everything set up. But guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. We'll be back here in a moment.
The hazardous conditions could impact the morning or evening commute. If you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency. The latest road conditions for Indiana can be obtained by calling 1-800-261-7623. Here is a winter weather statement. For the following counties in Indiana: Decatur, Johnson, Morgan, Rush, and Shelby. Winter storm warning remains in effect from 7 p.m. this evening to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. Heavy mixed precipitation expected. Total sleet and snow accumulations in excess of 3 inches and ice accumulations of up to 0.2 of an inch. Highest snow amounts will closer to Interstate 70 with higher ice total south. The areas affected include portions of central, south central, southeast, southwest, and west central Indiana. The hazardous conditions are expected from 7 p.m. this evening to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. The following impacts are expected. Travel could be very difficult. Patchy blowing snow could significantly reduce visibility. The hazardous conditions could impact the morning or evening commute. If you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency. The latest road conditions for Indiana can be obtained by calling 1-800-261-7623. And now a look at your forecast for Indianapolis and central Indiana. Late this afternoon: rain, snow, possibly mixed with freezing rain and sleet. New snow and sleet accumulation up to 1 inch. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts to around 25 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation near 100%. For tonight: colder. Snow, possibly mixed with freezing rain and sleet through midnight. Then snow, possibly mixed with sleet toward daybreak. Patchy blowing snow toward daybreak. Snow and sleet accumulation of 2 to 3 inches. Lows in the lower 20s. North winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts to around 35 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation near 100%. Thursday: colder, snow. Areas are blowing snow. Snow may be heavy at times in the morning. Snow accumulation around 5 inches. Total snow accumulation 7 to 11 inches. Near steady temperature in the lower 20s. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts to around 35 miles an hour. Chance of snow near 100%. For Thursday night: mostly cloudy. Chance of snow and freezing rain through midnight. Lows around 12. North winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. Gusts up to 35 miles an hour, decreasing to 25 miles an hour toward daybreak. Chance of precipitation 50%. Wind chill reading 0 to 10 above zero. Friday: Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wind chill reading 0 to 10 above zero. Once again, the forecast for late this afternoon. Rain, snow, possibly mixed with freezing rain and sleet. New snow and sleet accumulation up to 1 inch. North winds 10 to 15 miles.
Alrighty guys, we are just going to go ahead and get right on into it now. So guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe. We are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is going on across the nation here. So we'll go ahead and get into that here in a second. So, but my name is Andrew Heishman. I'm the forecaster here at NWW16. And like I said, guys, I hope y'all are staying safe and hope you guys are doing good here. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the radar view. We actually do have two parts to the system that's currently going on. It does look like we do have a bit of a break across bits of the Midwest here. We actually do see a little bit less, snowfall that is currently falling across those regions there. But we are seeing a lot of heavy snowfall as well as a lot of ice out of the system here. We are seeing a lot of major impacts with this storm, and it will continue to only do that so over the next little bit. So we are currently dealing with a lot of snow that is currently falling across bits of the southern plains. This does include bits of western Texas as well, and through Oklahoma City. We'll take a look here at the live camera view here in a second across these regions here, because we do have, I believe, 5 or 6 cameras we can look at today with our live coverage. We do have some major cities, including Dallas and Oklahoma City. We do have one in St. Louis as well. We have a few other ones, one in Indiana as well as one in Michigan. So we do have, we do have also another one here in Buffalo, New York as well. That we'll be giving you guys the latest coverage of. But guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are doing good here. And let me go ahead and turn this down here for a second. I didn't mean to have this thing playing. I just want to make sure that my stream's running good for you guys, because obviously that is the number one thing we got to do. We've got to make sure that it's running for you guys good, because got to get that live coverage for y'all, because things are really just now starting to unfold. So here, I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and launch my pin thing so I can go ahead and kind of point out things a little bit better for you guys, as well as kind of show you what we're talking about. We are currently dealing with a lot of heavy ice out of this system. We are expecting a lot of ice potential. Here we go. Here's my pin here. So like I was saying, we are currently seeing a lot of ice that is falling across bits of Oklahoma as well as bits of central portion here of Texas. A lot of sleet and freezing rain falling across those regions there. The temperature is below freezing, or at that freezing point here, which is allowing for a lot of ice accumulation to occur. This is only expected to get much, much worse as we do track down here in time, because we are expecting a lot more widespread areas here of ice. This is going to be a kicker of a winter storm, guys. And honestly, I think this is going to be the one of the year, at least as of now. So far, this is probably going to be the most impactful one this season. So far, because we are seeing a lot of areas here. Over 2,000 miles of snowfall has been recorded here, from all the way from southern parts of Canada, from Quebec all the way down to the southwest, from New Mexico, as well as bits of Arizona as well, actually. So we did see over 2,000 miles of snowfall across these regions. So it's absolutely crazy, guys. So we're going to continue giving you guys the latest coverage in regard to this storm. Now, we are currently seeing another set of snow with a little bit less freezing rain and a little bit less bits of ice that is occurring across bits of the Ohio Valley. These two systems are connected together, but we do have a bit of dry air across bits of the Missouri area here. You can kind of see there's less snowfall across these regions. We did actually see a decent amount of snowfall and ice that did fall not too long ago. It's kind of funny because I was looking at the live cameras earlier, getting everything ready for the stream, and I was actually looking, and I was pulling up the St. Louis camera, and there was nothing but ice. You could not see anything at all. Literally, if you're looking straight through it, if you're looking at the camera, it was just ice. So completely iced over. So they did see a lot of ice out of this system already, which is absolutely crazy. So, but like I said, we are currently seeing, this system that is impacting the region here. Now, take a look at this. So as we do track down, we'll actually get some models here in a second, but as we do track down, this is actually here in 2 parts. We're just now starting to see the first wave impact the regions here. Now, later on, we're going to get another kick of moisture here from the Gulf of Mexico as well as the southwest. This will draw in a lot more moisture, causing a lot more ice to occur across bits of the southern plains. So we'll get to that here in a moment in terms of the models. So let's go ahead and pull up our first live camera here. We're going to go ahead and zoom on over here to Oklahoma City. We're going to take a look here at Oklahoma City first. In regard to our current camera view in terms of what we're currently seeing here across the region. So let's go ahead and zoom. It's still daylight there. The sun's just now starting to set on the East Coast. Because the winter is always, going down a little bit more. So let's go ahead and zoom over here. This is our Oklahoma City current view at the moment. Obviously, we can see that it is snowing, as we did see on the radar view as well. Temperature there is currently 22 degrees Fahrenheit, relatively cold here. So we are seeing, you know, currently some snowy conditions across these regions here. You can actually see it is accumulating here on the surface. So there's obviously a bit of accumulation that is currently unfolding here with this system at the moment. So that is currently what we are seeing here. So like I said, we are expecting widespread snow as well as widespread icing to occur. You know, the latest models have absolutely been going crazy, and we do have the possibility that some of these areas that we're going to be looking at could see potentially over a foot of snow across a lot of these regions here. So guys, please stay safe with this system. I was going to see Andy says, hey, what's up? What's up, Andy? Welcome to the live stream. I hope you're doing good and having a good night. Same to all of you other guys out there. Hope you guys are having a great night. Hope you guys are staying safe and warm, because we're currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is currently happening here. We are seeing, you know, a lot of snow and ice, a lot of winter impacts out of the system here. So we'll continue giving you guys the latest coverage in regard to things here. So that's currently what we are seeing. So let's go ahead and move on over here. We're going to change, actually, I'm going to go ahead and start up my local radar, or the local radar. Basically, we'll get a better view in terms of, you know, reports and stuff as well. So give me 1 second while I go ahead and pull that up here. So I guess we can go ahead and switch on back here to our current radar view. This is currently, we are seeing, you know, we actually do have two parts of the system that is currently, you know, currently falling across the region. Let's go and see. Andy says, will 2 feet of snow happen with this system? The answer is no. It's not going to be that bad. The max, we're probably going to see maybe up to 16 inches in some of the areas. Like I said, we'll take a look at the models here in a second. We are expecting a decent amount of accumulations to occur, you know, out of the system regardless, across a widespread area. The problem with this storm is the fact of how long it is, and the fact of how much impacts it's actually doing here across the region. So we're going to go ahead and move on over here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this storm that's currently going on across bits of the southern plains. We were just taking a look at. Like I said, there is two parts of the system that's currently occurring here right now. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here. We're going to go ahead and start getting some radar data in here for you guys. Basically taking a look here. Here's the precipitation type. So across this orange shade you do see here, this is actually all sleet that's falling across bits of the region. Now we just took a look here at the live view at Oklahoma City, and we actually did see that there was some snow that was falling here. So Oklahoma City right here is actually looking pretty good here. That is essentially what we are talking about. So we are seeing a lot of heavy snowfall that is occurring here. You know, a lot of pretty heavy snow bands with the system as well, as what we're currently seeing here. Then we actually do have a bit more freezing rain the further we do go south here. You know, pretty much, you know what I'm talking about. We do have a little bit more freezing rain that is going here a little bit more south, but we are, you know, we actually are starting to see a little bit more warmer air drive its way into the region here, but it's still freezing at the surface, which does allow for still ice to accumulate across this region. So we are seeing a lot of heavy ice as well as a lot of snow out of the system here. So guys, if y'all are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here, you know, because as well as warm, because we are currently seeing a lot of craziness that's currently impacting. It looks like we already have an inch here, an inch of sleet reported. That's pretty crazy. This is in Baylor. This is in northern Texas, according to Emergency Manager. That is quite crazy here. So we are seeing a lot of heavy ice that's already occurring here, as well as a lot of snow. And like I said, guys, this is a two-part system. There is two parts that's currently going on here. Take a look at this. We do have basically this detached area here. It's the same system. Overall, it's the same thing that's going on here. We actually do have a bit of a break across bits of Missouri here, but this will actually eventually kind of kick back up here. We actually are seeing, you know, a lot of ice across bits of the southern plains, Oklahoma, bits of Texas. Currently seeing a lot of heavy ice across the area. Same thing across bits of this region here, kind of in this white. We are seeing a lot of heavy snowfall across the areas here. So, Andy says, can we see snow totals? Yes, we can. We can actually take a look at that here right now. So, let's go ahead and switch on over here. Give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and pull up the National Weather Service forecast for you guys in regard to expected snowfall. Because like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy snowfall as well as a lot of ice here as well. We'll actually take a look at the hazards he said, across the nation as well, because things are actually looking pretty crazy across these areas here. So let's go ahead and see. We're going to go ahead and go to the 48-hour snowfall accumulation map. So this is what we are expecting. So let's go ahead and change on over here to our National Weather Service forecast page. So this is basically what we are expecting here. I guess we'll go ahead and zoom into more of a regional view. We'll go and start off with the southern plains here. So this is about how much snow we are expecting here at the moment. We are expecting about 1 to 3 inches across this light blue shaded area here, across bits of the southern plains. 6 to 10 kind of across this pink shaded area here. We are seeing a lot of potential of heavy snow across these regions. Now, like I said, there is a lot of ice threats with this as well. So, like I said, not only is snow going to be a major concern, but ice will as well across a lot of these regions here. So, we're going to go ahead and move on over here to the Central Plains now. Like I said, we are still expecting some snow to occur across bits of Kansas as well as Oklahoma as well. The majority here, where we were taking a look at Oklahoma City, we are kind of expecting 3 to 5 inches around that area there, so we are expecting a decent amount of snowfall to fall across the region. Now, St. Louis is kind of right here in the bullseye, maybe seeing well up to near 10 inches of snow. According to your National Weather Service forecast. Like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy snow impacts to occur across a widespread region here in the United States. So overall, guys, please bundle up, please stay safe, because we are expecting a lot of widespread impacts out of the system here. So things are expected to be quite crazy here. So now we're going to go ahead and move on over. We're going to go ahead and move here to the Ohio Valley in terms of things, so we can continue to see the streak of all the snow drive its way up. Now, like we said yesterday, on the national, or on the forecast, or we did on our video actually today and yesterday, we did see that there is the possibility of some isolated amounts up to 12 inches of snow. So we could see well over a foot of snow across bits of Indiana as well as bits of Ohio here. Kind of across these red maroon shaded colors is kind of where we are expecting that to occur. Like I said, kind of across this pink shaded area, we're expecting 6 to 10 inches across the region, 3 to 5 across the dark blue, as well as 1 to 3 across this light blue shaded area here. Then we move here into the Mid-Atlantic. The Mid-Atlantic isn't really expected to get too much. It's more of a more of a northeast thing compared to the Mid-Atlantic. So we'll go ahead and shift on over here to the northeast here. Now here's where things start to get kind of crazy again. So the latest model outputs have actually been showing the probability that we would actually see potentially well over a foot of snow across these maroon shaded colors here. This does include bits of New York as well as Vermont and New Hampshire. So we are expecting the totals to get pretty high here as well. Across the region. So guys, if y'all are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are doing good here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to go. If you guys want a personal forecast in terms of how much you might expect, like I said, feel free to leave it down in the chat below. It'll be greatly appreciated. I'll try to get to your guys' questions. So let's go see. Andy says Western New York about 10 to 13 inches on average, what I've been hearing. Yeah, Western New York, honestly, this is kind of your expected amounts. This is the expected amount from the National Weather Service. Does not mean it'll be approximate. It just means that it will get somewhere around that ballpark. So, yeah, definitely 10 to 13 inches is kind of a good deal, because we do have some markers here, like I said, in this red shaded area that we might see well over a foot of snow across these regions here. So there is a probability that we will see a lot of heavy snowfall accumulation across those regions. They are potentially over a foot. Now, guys, like I said, not only is snow a concern, but ice is as well. We'll go ahead and shift back here to the southern plains, because we are expecting a lot of heavy ice here, a lot of heavy icing to occur. This will do significant impacts, a lot of heavy impacts across these regions here. So we're kind of talking maybe 1/10 of an inch across bits of the southern or the central portion here of Texas across this region. Now we start to get a lot more heavier. And as we were taking a look at the models earlier, you will notice that we did see a lot of heavy ice that was forecast across bits of Arkansas. So we're going to go ahead and move here to bits of the Ohio Valley. We'll get a better view here. So we are kind of expecting the possibility of maybe up to 5/10 of an inch or half an inch of ice to occur, kind of across bits of the Arizona, or not the Arizona, the parts here of Arkansas, as well as bits of western portions here of Tennessee and bits of western Kentucky. We are expecting potential of over a half an inch of ice to occur, which is possible. The problem with that is the fact that you get a lot of heavy ice that starts building up on power lines. All kinds of problems really start to kind of kick off here. So really, it is kind of concerning. So expect to run out of power, guys. Expect all these other types of hazards. I would not say that you should be driving in this, because this is definitely conditions you do not want to be driving in here. And he says, do I think schools will close in Western New York? Honestly, in Western New York, a lot of people are more used to the snowfall up there compared to like what we did see across the South. There is a lot more people that are used to it up there. Now, concerning how much snow we're talking about, potentially up to a foot, I would say it's definitely a possibility, especially if we get some ice out of this. It looks like there is some mixture of precipitation falling across the region. If we do get some ice out of this, I would almost say that, yeah, it's certainly going to close, because ice is something that you don't mess with. Snow is a little bit more easier to handle, but, in terms of ice, No, you do not mess with any ice, because ice is what causes all these serious problems here. So, like we were saying, this is what we are expecting in terms of ice here. Now, we are expecting more ice across the northeast. This only goes out a day or so, or only goes out a day. So that's basically just why we didn't see anything across the northeast now. So, but guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys and give you guys the latest information regarding the system. So, let's go ahead and switch on back here to the current radar view here. We'll go ahead and take a look here. This is currently what we are seeing. So we are currently seeing this system kind of split up into two pieces here. One across bits of the southern plains, as well as one across bits of the Ohio Valley here. So we are seeing a decent amount of snowfall impacts that's currently occurring across these regions here. Snow and ice impacts are occurring. So guys, like I said, please be safe with this system. We are expecting a lot of heavy impacts with this system to occur across a lot of these regions here. So, like I said, this will come in two waves. Right now, we're just now starting to see the first wave here. We are expecting a lot more snow and ice to occur. We're going to start getting a lot more moisture. It's going to start building its way in across the southern plains, and this will actually drive in the potential of a lot more winter impacts across the regions. Like I said, things could get very, very bad here. For a lot of people here, stretching all the way across the nation. So like I said, there is currently two parts of the system that's currently going on. We do have a bit of a break of snowfall across bits of Missouri. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the live cam here. We'll take a look here at Indiana. This is for South Bend, Indiana. We'll go ahead and take a look here at a live camera view here in 1 second. Let's go ahead and pull this up now. So this is basically what we're talking about. So we'll go ahead and zoom down here. So this is for South Bend, Indiana. It's kind of hard to see because of the glare from the cameras, but you can kind of see those occasional snowflakes that are falling its way through the region. So we can say that it is snowing. Looking back at the radar view, we could also say that it is snowing as well. If you zoom in, quite a bit, you can actually see some of those flurries that do drive their way through the region here. So we are currently seeing, the snow that is occurring across the region. You can obviously see that there is a bit of accumulation here right under the street lamps here, or right under the sidewalk lamp. You can kind of see here. So we are seeing, this stuff starting to accumulate here. And like I said, we're only expecting more snow and ice out of the system here. This is only the first part of it. We're only expecting this thing to get much more worse as we do track down here in time. Now, we are expecting that kick of moisture to occur across bits of the southeast as well as bits of the southwest, driving in a whole bunch more moisture, allowing for a lot more ice and snow to fall across bits of the southern plains. So that is what we're currently taking a look here across bits of Indiana. So I want to go ahead and take a look here back at the local radar view. Let's go ahead and switch on back here over to that real quick for you guys. So this is the current local radar view across bits of central Oklahoma. This is currently what we are seeing here. We are seeing a lot of heavy snow here, especially across this purple shaded region. We are seeing a lot of heavy snow bands that are occurring out of the system here, as well as a lot of sleet starting to mix in kind of across this orange area, almost that golden shade color, as well as a lot more freezing rain across bits of these regions here. Now, as we move here into bits of Dallas, we'll go ahead and switch on over to another radar view. A little bit more further south, we'll go ahead and take a look here at that view in terms of things a little bit more local to basically eastern portion here of Texas. Now, there is a bit more different story. We actually are still seeing a lot of heavy ice impacting the northern portions as well as the central portions here of Texas across these regions. So we are seeing a lot of impacts across the areas there, as well as a lot of heavy rain that is currently falling here. So the green is representing that we are having some rainfall. The red, almost pink shaded area, we actually are seeing freezing rain occurring, basically showing that the temperature at the surface is below freezing, or at that freezing level, which is allowing for some accumulation to occur with a lot of ice, freezing rain as well as sleet we are seeing across these regions here. So guys, like I said, please prepare for this. We are seeing a lot of crazy conditions out of the system. We'll continue to give you guys the latest updates in regard to everything here, keep you guys safe in terms of everything. So we actually do have a lot more sleet that is occurring across bits of this orange shaded area here. And like I said, it starts to kind of turn into more snow as we start getting a lot more colder air that's backing down here on the system here, which does allow for a lot more, snow to occur across these regions. So that is essentially what we're talking about. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here. This is our national radar view. This is currently where we are taking a look here across the nation. So like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of snow that is falling its way across the country here. Like I said, it's kind of in a divide mode right now. We actually are seeing a little bit less snowfall and a little bit less rainfall across these regions here, across the central portion here, bits of Missouri. There is a bit of a break, but this system is tracking its way up to the northeast here at the moment. So, this is likely going to start snowing again here. We'll take a look at the models, like I said, here in a second in regard to things. But we are currently seeing kind of a break in the system right here across bits of the central portion here of the Midwest, areas such as Missouri like I'm talking about. And of course, we are currently dealing with a lot of heavy icing across bits of Oklahoma and through central portions of Texas here. as well as, you know, not too much ice with the system here up north, but this will definitely change as the system does continue to track its way up here to the northeast here. So we are currently seeing a bit of mixture of precipitation across bits of the Ohio Valley as well as bits of the northeast, kind of across this pink shaded area here, and more snow across the white area here. So that is what we're taking a look here. That's what we just saw on the Indiana view in terms of things. So let's go ahead and move on over to another live camera. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at bits. We're actually going to take a look here at Buffalo, New York. Kind of where that area of, you know, all of that, you know, mixture is currently going on here according to your radar view. Across bits of Buffalo, we'll go ahead and switch on over here. Buffalo, New York is kind of seeing, you know, a whole bunch of mess in regard to things here at the moment. So we'll go ahead and switch on over here to the Buffalo camera here in 1 second. We'll go ahead and get it loading up. But guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here. So let's go ahead and switch on over here for our Buffalo, New York camera. Now we are seeing a lot of snow actually that is currently falling across the region. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here. So this is Buffalo, New York. We obviously do see a bit of pile of snow. It looks like the snowplow house came through here, kind of pushed all the snow that was on the roads here against the side of the curb. So we are seeing some snow that is starting to accumulate here. And if you look here at this puddle, it does look like it is raining. So, but the temperature is at that freezing point or near that freezing point. So whatever precipitation is falling at the moment will likely be freezing at the moment here, because we are seeing a lot of heavy precipitation that is falling across the region. Like I did say on the radar view, we were seeing a bit of mixture of precipitation as well as a lot of rain out of the system here. So this is currently what we are seeing. We are currently seeing a decent amount of snowfall that is falling across these regions. So guys, like I said, please stay safe with this system. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys in terms of the system. If you guys want a personal forecast in regard to things, you know, I'll also do that for you guys as well. Because, you know, basically, bottom line, I just want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to be prepared for the system because, you know, honestly, things are getting quite crazy here. And this is only expected to get worse as we do travel here a little bit further down the line. So, we'll just continue monitoring this. Let's go see Arctic says hi. What's up, Courtney? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're doing good. Same for all of you guys. If you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe. Because, like I said, we are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is occurring here out of the system. So, we'll continue giving you guys the latest coverage in regard to this. We'll probably go live tomorrow as well. Because, like I said, this is a multi-day event. It's starting off today. You know, it really just started kicking off early this morning. And it's already starting to kind of show itself. And this thing's going to exit the region here on the 5th. So we are expecting several days of winter weather to occur. So likely, we will most likely be going live for you guys, you know, for the next few days as the system does progress its way here to the east. Like I said, guys, if you're just now joining and you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So it does look like we do have a bit of, you know, some rain that's starting to collect here on the side here of the camera. So it actually is showing that we do have a bit of, you know, a little bit here of, you know, rain is falling. So we actually are seeing a bit of mixture of precipitation falling across the region. You can see the puddle right here. You can barely see it, but there is rain that's actually hitting it. So this is confirming that we're not seeing snow right now, but we're seeing rain and freezing rain. Because like I said, the temperature line is kind of right here at that freezing point. We'll go ahead and move here back to the radar view so you guys can see this. We're kind of taking a look here. This is for Buffalo. So like we said, we are currently seeing, you know, kind of a mixture between rain and freezing rain across the areas here. Kind of across this pink shade area, this is showing that we are seeing some freezing rain and sleet mixing in with the system. And once we kind of reach this green area, this is just normal rain. But like I said, it's right here on the borderline between being freezing and not. This will only continue to drive down the temperatures as we move on forward because it is expected to get a lot more cold here across these regions. So guys, like I said many times before, guys, hope you stay safe with this system. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So this is currently we are seeing here. Like I said, this is a two-part system. We are seeing, you know, two parts of the system. We do have a bit of a break that's currently occurring here across bits of Illinois as well as Missouri, kind of across bits of the Midwest into the western Ohio Valley here. Now this will definitely change as we do track down here because this system is tracking its way up here to the northeast. So this will continue to drive a whole bunch of ice and snow across the regions here. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts at the moment falling across these areas here. So we will get another kick of moisture coming up here from the Gulf of Mexico, as well as bits of the southwest, you know, allowing for those, allowing for those ice and snow totals to really kind of ramp up quick here. So this is going to start, you know, impacting the region here, kind of for tonight here across these regions. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy snow that is falling across the western side here of Texas, as well as bits of the interior portion here of Oklahoma. You know, Oklahoma City included. Currently seeing a lot of snowfall, and it does not look like it's going to stop anytime soon because we're kind of right here in the middle of this. So Oklahoma City is actually seeing a decent amount of snowfall currently out of the system here. So this is currently what we are seeing here. Now, like I said, we are currently dealing with a lot of heavy ice here as well across this pink shaded area here. Across bits of central Texas and through basically southeastern Oklahoma at the moment, we are seeing a lot of heavy ice that is currently occurring across these regions here. So, like I said, well, guys, we'll continue giving you guys the latest coverage in regard to this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. As well as if you guys want if you guys want a personal forecast in regard to a specific location, let me know. I'll definitely try to get to it for you guys, give you guys the latest information in terms of what you might actually see out of this. Because like I said, we are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is occurring here. A lot of ice impacts, a lot of snow impacts as well. And we're going to start to have some big problems here once we start to see a lot of these power lines. They're going to start they're going to start going down, and we're going to start to see a lot of power outages being reported. That's actually something we could take a look here at in 1 second. Let me go ahead and look up the power outages for you guys, because we do have a power outage map, and I'm sure that there is a lot of power outages that already are occurring here because of the fact that we are seeing basically a lot of heavy ice across bits of the southern plains here at the moment. So let's go ahead and take a look here across bits of Texas as well as Oklahoma. First, we'll go ahead and start off here with Oklahoma. We actually are seeing a bit of power outages here, so we'll go ahead and switch on over here to the current view in regard to power outages. So like I said, we are currently dealing with a few across these regions here, basically for bits of Canadian County here. We actually are seeing about almost near 7,000 people without power across these regions here. Some of these other counties have smaller amounts, but the heaviest impact is Canadian County here. We can actually see with the heaviest currently the power outages at the moment. Like I said, I only expect this to go up as we continue to track down here in time, because we are expecting a lot more heavier ice and a lot more heavier snowfall to occur across these regions, only allowing for a lot more heavier impacts to occur across a lot of these areas here. So guys, like I said, please stay safe. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. So we're going to go ahead and move here over to Texas. Now, we are currently dealing with a bit of power outages here in Texas as well. Basically across the north central portion here of Texas, kind of seeing the most here across the region. We are already seeing a total state outage here. We're actually already seeing over 5,000 people without power. You can actually see right here. So over 5,000 people are currently without power. Like I said, this is only expected to go up as we continue to track further down the line in the system. Like I said, we are currently expected to see a big kick out of the system, and we are expected to see a lot more ice and a lot more snowfall out of the system here. So we are expecting the potential of maybe some more, heavier power outages to occur across these regions here. So let's go ahead and move on back here. So we're taking a look here at the current radar view in regard to things. Like I said, there's currently kind of a break currently going on here across bits of the Midwest. This does include bits of Missouri as well as Illinois here. We are seeing a bit of a break that is currently occurring across some of these regions here. So this is currently what we're dealing with. So across the Northeast, we actually are seeing a bit of mixture of precipitation falling across bits of the region. Kind of for this pink shaded area here, this is for bits of New York. This is for the Northeast. So the pink shade area you actually are seeing, this is sleet and freezing rain that is falling across those areas there. As we start to kind of move here in this green shaded color, this is more of just normal rain that's falling because the surface temperature is above freezing for the most part across these regions here. Now, as we start to move here into white, this is where we actually are seeing a lot of heavy snow. We are currently seeing a lot of snow drive its way through bits of Indiana, kind of starting to exit the western side here at the moment. We currently do see a lot more snow that is falling across bits of areas of Michigan, across the southern portion here of the state, as well as northwestern portions here of Ohio. Across those regions, we actually are seeing a decent amount of snowfall. Now, like I said, as we do move here for bits of the Midwest, we actually are seeing a bit of clearing that's currently occurring across these regions here. St. Louis did actually see a decent amount of snow, and as we see, there is more snow on the way, because this is a two-part system, like I said, that is expected to impact these regions. So, then we track down further to the central and southern plains here. Areas of Oklahoma City, we actually are seeing a decent amount of snowfall that is currently falling across these areas here. Now, with the bottom part of the system, we actually are seeing a lot more ice that's occurring out of this area here. Across the pink shade area, like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy sleet as well as freezing rain that is occurring across these regions. So, this is currently where we are seeing some pretty heavy impacts. And like we did see on the power outages, we are seeing a lot of outages that are currently going on here across these regions due to all, basically due to all of, all this heavy ice that's pretty much pulling down on these power lines, causing a lot of outages to occur. So guys, like I said, we are expecting some pretty heavy impacts to occur. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the traffic maps in terms of things in regard to, basically our interstates and see kind of how they're looking here. We actually are currently seeing a lot of impacts, so we'll go ahead and switch on over here to the traffic view right now. So this is what we're talking about. So right here where you see this orange area, this is where we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts of traffic. You can honestly see right where the system has tracked over. It's kind of obvious here. You can really start to see, the colors start to kind of pop out here across bits of the region. Now, it is kind of rush hour here for the central portion here of bits of, the Central Plains. It is actually here for rush hour. So we are currently seeing this, but areas of Dallas, we are seeing a lot of heavy traffic impacts, mixture between wintry weather as well as a lot of, like I said, currently right now we are seeing, the rush hour across the region. So you can obviously see this track that is currently occurring here across these regions here. This does include bits of Michigan, Ohio, bits of Indiana, Illinois, as well as Missouri, bits of Oklahoma as well. We are seeing a lot of heavy impacts of the roadways. We are seeing a lot of these interstate systems, really slowing down, if not shutting down here, just because of how bad these road conditions really are here. Now, across bits of Illinois, we actually do have a lot of roads that look like closed. Interstate 74 does look to be closed here, closed until 9:30 p.m. Honestly, I would not be surprised if this does get delayed. But right now, across the region, it is clear across bits of Illinois. So we'll see just how that goes in terms of things. They're just now starting to clear out the roads here. But, like I said, they are only expecting a little bit more snow to fall out of the system here. So, guys, like I said, please stay safe with this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So, all right, so, guys, that is essentially what we are talking about. So, let's go ahead and move on here. We're going to go ahead and make a new page here. We're going to take a look at the models. I feel like that's probably something we should take a look here in terms of things, because like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts. We'll take a look here at the GFS model. This is your long-range American model. So we'll take a look here at the GFS in terms of timing here. So there's that kind of gap we were seeing on the actual radar view. It's really starting to show itself here on the model. So as we do track down here in time, here's where things kind of get crazy. So like I said, we are expecting some more snow to drive its way through bits of the region here. Like I said, St. Louis, you're done for now for snow, but this is not going to last for long because we are expecting a lot more snow and ice impacts to occur. Like I said, guys, we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts to occur. Let's go and see. Andy says, is 1 inch of snow per hour bad? It depends on where it's located. If it's more south, like I said, these people really aren't used to snowfall across the south. It's definitely impactful, yes. But there is definitely worse, especially once you start to reach those 2 to 4 inch snow per, or 2 to 4 inch per hour range. That's whenever things really start kicking off here. At that point, it starts really reducing visibility at around 2 to 4 inches across those regions. So like I said, guys, we are currently seeing, this system kind of split up into two systems here. We'll go ahead and take a look here at a quick glance here at the radar view. So like I said, we are seeing, this break right here across the middle portion here of the Midwest, Missouri as well as Illinois. So now we move back to our models. You can obviously see where that is put in place here, a little bit of that clearing, but this is not expected to last for long. As we continue to track here into kind of the early morning hours here for tomorrow, we are going to see the system reconnect again, allowing for a lot more heavy snow to fall across bits of the Midwest. So St. Louis, you're not done. Across a lot of these areas here in the Midwest, as well as Illinois, or, bits of Missouri into Illinois, we actually are not done with the snow and ice. This is only expected to come again in another wave. Because, like I said, we are seeing two waves of the system. Currently, the first one is currently ongoing. And then we are going to get another kick of moisture with the new area of low pressure kind of developing across bits of the southern plains, areas such as southern Texas, kind of across those regions there. So that is kind of what we are talking about, guys. So, like I said, y'all, please be safe out of the system. We are seeing a lot of heavy impacts. And like I said, this is only expected to get worse as we do travel here down in time. So we'll go ahead and continue to track here into time here. So kind of across the later morning hours, we actually will start to see a lot of ice that will start falling across bits, of bits of the southern plains into bits of the Midwest. We are seeing a lot of potential impacts. A lot of power outages will likely be a result of this. A lot of ice, sleet and freezing rain falling across these regions here. As we are seeing a lot of cold air really start to back down on the system here, on the back end of the system, drawing in a lot more colder air, which is allowing for the transition from, more of just normal rain state to actually turn into wintry precipitation across these regions. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts, or we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts as well to occur here further down the line. So then we actually do track here a little bit further more down. So like I said, this system will track its way here to the east-northeast. We'll continue to see a lot more heavier impacts. It'll actually start impacting bits of the Tennessee Valley here, kind of across, the evening hours here for tomorrow. Across the region. This will continue to track its way up here to the northeast, bringing a lot of rain for the mid-Atlantic and southeast here. Nothing winter is kind of expected, but for the northeast, we are possibly going to see a lot of heavy impacts as well. More snow for the northeast. They've actually been dealing with a lot of snow across the region. So let's go ahead and see here. What if 1 foot of freezing rain happened? Most that ever happened is 8 inches. That would be catastrophic, and that would probably cause a lot of closures. Because, like I said, we did see a lot of ice. I believe the max, like you did say, was 8 inches. But a foot of ice would definitely be catastrophic. But luckily, that's not what we're dealing with in this case scenario. But we are actually seeing a lot of heavy impacts of ice occurring with this system here at the moment. So, like I said, guys, we will track down here even further. We will continue to see a lot of wintry precipitation drive its way through bits of the Ohio Valley into the northeast here at the moment, eventually kind of exiting the region here on the 5th, kind of across the evening hours here for the 4th, into the morning hours here on the 5th. So we are expected to see a lot of impacts to occur here out of the system. But guys, if you all are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are doing good here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. So we'll go ahead and take a look here at that. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the latest radar view. This is currently what we are seeing here across the nation. We are currently dealing with a lot of rainfall across the southeast here. This is not freezing, luckily. If it was, this would be kind of crazy. But like I said, right now we are seeing a lot of rain that is driving its way. We actually are starting to see a lot more moisture really pull itself up here from the Gulf of Mexico. You can really see that in the latest motion here of the radar. You can really start to see all that moisture being drawn up here, as well as this new area of low pressure that's set to develop across bits of southern Texas here, across these regions there. So, like I said, this area of low pressure will track itself up here to the northeast, basically allowing for a lot more heavier winter impacts to occur across bits of the southern plains into the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Tennessee Valley here, as well as bits of the northeast. So we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts here, and we are currently seeing only a lot more moisture draw its way in here from bits of the southeast. So that is kind of crazy what we are seeing here. So, guys, like I said, please stay safe with this system. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them. And if you guys are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. That'll be greatly appreciated. We are trying to reach that 500 subscriber mark by the end of February, guys. So if you're not already, hit that subscribe button, guys. That'd be greatly appreciated. So that is essentially what we are talking about, guys. Like I said, please stay safe with this. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy conditions ongoing here across the moment. Let's go see. Andy says, what is the weather like right where the area of low pressure is? Well, the area of low pressure, we can actually take a look here at the Mesoscale Analysis in terms of things. So let's go ahead and pull up the Mesoscale Analysis, and we'll go ahead and see where this area of low pressure is located at. So give me 1 second while we go ahead and pull this up here for you guys. But this is currently what we are seeing here. So the area of low pressure is kind of right here. You can barely see it, but it's kind of right here across the southern portion here of, pretty much the northern portion here of Mexico, actually. And across the region, it actually is some rain showers. It's nothing too crazy, but obviously we are having the heaviest impacts at the moment falling across bits of the southern plains here. This is currently what we are seeing here across the region. We are seeing a lot of heavy impacts currently falling across these areas here. So, but like I said, guys, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts. We do have a lot of high pressure that really is starting to drive its way down here from the northern plains down south, I believe, as this area of low pressure does track its way up here to the northeast. So this is currently where our area of low pressure is trackated, or not trackated, that's a brand new word that just came up, tracking. So this will continue to track its way up here to the east-northeast, delivering all types of crazy conditions in terms of heavy ice and heavy snow across these regions. So we're going to go ahead and switch here back on over here to the current, not the observed snowfall. We'll go ahead and switch here to the radar view. So this is currently what we are seeing here across the region. We are currently dealing with a lot of heavy impacts here, guys, in terms of things. So, like I said, we'll continue to give you guys the latest coverage in regard to things. Like I said before, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. Okay, so, like I said, right now we are kind of seeing, kind of a split between the system. We actually are seeing a little bit more dry air across bits of the Midwest. This does include bits of Missouri as well as Illinois here. So we are kind of seeing a bit more dry air in place across these regions here. But this is expected to reconnect here later on tonight, as we did actually see the model view. So this will continue to track its way up here to the northeast. But right now, as we're currently seeing here, we are dealing with a lot of heavy icing across bits of Oklahoma as well as bits of north-central portions and central portions here of Texas. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts of ice, including sleet and freezing rain across these regions. Across bits of the Ohio Valley as well. Like I said, we are seeing a little bit more precipitation. We are having all of this moisture drive its way up here into the southeast here. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts out of the system is currently ongoing here across the region. So we'll continue to monitor this, guys, over the next little bit. So let's go ahead and see if you guys have any questions. Feel free to leave them down in the chat below if you guys want me to forecast for a specific area in terms of how much snow you might expect out of the system. Like I said, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. So let's go ahead. I'm actually going to do something real quick. We're going to remove here the weather radio. I feel like that's only causing more background noise. But guys, you know, like I said, please stay safe. Please stay warm with the system. We are seeing a lot of heavy impacts that is ongoing across the region. So, you know, honestly, we are seeing, you know, a lot of people probably suffering with a lot of potential impacts out of this area here. Let's go and see here. Andy says this winter storm is broken. Yeah, it is. Right now, it is kind of broken into two pieces. But this will reconverge here later on tonight. At the moment, like I said, across Missouri, you know, just because the snowfall has stopped now does not mean that it is completely over. Because, like I said, this area down here in the southern plains, we do see this shooting its way up here to the northeast. This will actually cause a lot more heavier impacts. So we'll go ahead and continue to see that for you guys. Go ahead and continue to monitor this for you guys. But guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe with the system here. So this is currently what we are seeing across the region. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to another camera view. We're actually going to take a look here at Dallas. Current in Dallas, you know, kind of around the Dallas area here. So we'll go ahead and take a look here at that. It is currently raining. But before we take a look here at that, I want to go ahead and show you guys, you know, where Dallas is located here. It's basically northeastern Texas. Dallas is located right here, and we actually are seeing a lot of green here, which is showing that we are seeing a lot of rain that's actually falling. Not freezing rain, but just normal rain here. But not too much up to the northwest. We actually are seeing a lot of freezing rain and sleet that is ongoing here with the system, and then a little bit more further west than that, we do have all the snow that is falling across those regions. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the Dallas view. So this is currently what Dallas is looking like. So we can obviously see the glare here on the camera lens. This is signifying that we do actually have, you know, a lot of precipitation that is falling across these regions. Most likely just rain like we did see on that current radar view across a lot of these regions here. So that is currently what we are seeing here across the area. So obviously, we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts to occur. We actually are seeing a lot of heavy impacts across a lot of the country here, as well as a lot of rain that is falling across these regions. So yeah, like I said, guys, we are currently seeing that happen here. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break here. We'll be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, guys, like I said, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing, guys. That'll be greatly appreciated. If you guys do want to support our channel, we do have our donations in the description below, as well as our chat, guys. So, we'll get back to you guys here in a moment. I was going to see, Andy says 10 to 15 inches is what AccuWeather says. It's finally, or they're not saying like 2 to 4 feet, like they're good at. Yeah, if AccuWeather, I don't really trust by too much. Not necessarily what I would consider the most accurate. AccuWeather is kind of trash, not gonna lie. I'm sure probably gonna get a lot of haters out of that, but you know, honestly, it's just kind of what it is. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and take a break, like I said, here in 1 second. So, guys, like I said, if you are just now starting to join us, if you guys are just now, you know, new to the channel, like I said, guys, consider subscribing. It'll be greatly appreciated. Help us get to that 500 subscriber goal here by the end of February. I believe we can do it, guys. You absolutely crushed the last goal. So, guys, if you do want to support our channel, we actually do have our donations in the description, as well as the chat. So if you guys would like to help us out, basically to get better coverages here in the future, you know, feel free to, you know, check it out down in the description below. But guys, like I said, we'll be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So hang tight. We'll be back shortly. Alrighty, guys, we are back. I decided that we're going to come back a little bit early for you guys, just to give you guys the latest coverage in regard to things. So, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts that is going here across the nation. We are seeing a lot of sleet and freezing rain, as well as a lot of snow that is currently unfolding here across the nation. We are actually seeing a lot of heavy impacts that is ongoing, guys. So, like I said, please stay safe out of the system, because we are seeing a lot of stuff that is currently going on here. So we'll continue to give you guys the latest coverage in regard to things here. But guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. My name is Andrew Heischman. I'm the lead forecaster here in WW16. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today, other than the craziness we are currently seeing here go on across the region here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at what we're seeing. So we obviously do have this powerful winter storm that is currently impacting these regions here. This is currently impacting, a lot of the portion here from the southern plains and through bits of the central portions here of the United States, as well as bits of the Ohio Valley. We are seeing a lot of heavy impacts that actually is ongoing here at the moment. So this is currently what we are seeing here across the region. Now, this system is kind of broken up into two pieces here at the moment. We are seeing a little bit more dry air across bits of Missouri as well as bits of Illinois here. Now, don't expect that to kind of be the case here for too long, because like I said, these two areas will converge once again here later on tonight. Allowing for a lot more snow to fall across bits of the region. Now, St. Louis actually did see a decent amount of snow here. We are expecting a decent amount of snow, potentially 6 to 10 inches across these regions. So like I said, guys, we are expecting a lot of heavy snowfall across these regions here. Not only is snow going to be a major concern, but ice will as well. We are seeing a lot of craziness in terms of that. So guys, like I said, please stay safe with this system. We'll give you guys the latest coverage here into tonight. We'll go ahead and go live for a few hours, guys. Because honestly, safety is the #1 key here for you all, and honestly, knowledge is the best source of information that you can have when it comes to these events. Because you need to be prepared for these systems, because these are stuff that you really don't want to mess with. Because these systems can really cause all types of impacts here, especially with the amount of how widespread this system is here. Earlier we were taking a look here at the radar view. This was stretching all the way down from the southwest. All the way from Arizona up to southern Quebec earlier. This was a very, very long system. It honestly has shifted a little bit more here to the east. We can actually see here just now impacting bits of, southeastern Arizona, all the way up here to bits of the northeast. So we are currently seeing, still widespread amount of snow that is currently falling across these regions here. So obviously we are seeing a lot of wintry impacts. And like I said, guys, this is only expected to get more worse here down the line, because we're only expecting a lot more totals to come out of this system here. So like I said, guys, we are expecting a lot of craziness that is ongoing here. So like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of sleet and freezing rain that is currently happening here across bits of basically the area here. As we are seeing a lot of sleet and freezing rain across bits of southern Oklahoma, as well as bits of south, basically northern portion here, central portion here of Texas. We are seeing a lot of heavy sleet impacts, as well as freezing rain across these regions here. So like I said, guys, please stay safe with this system. Like I said, this is broken into two parts here at the moment. But like I said, this will converge here down the line. So that is currently what we are taking a look here at the moment. So let's go ahead and look at the current live view. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the live view. Like I said, guys, this is broken up into two systems. So first off, we'll take a look here at the live view from Oklahoma City, and then we'll move up here to bits of Buffalo, New York. We'll have another view in terms of that. So let's go ahead and switch on over here. We'll go ahead and take a look here, like I said, at Oklahoma City first. So we'll go ahead and see what we're currently seeing here across the region. So shifting gears here over to Oklahoma City. This is the current view, and obviously it is quite a whiteout. We are seeing a lot of snow that is falling across these regions here. This is a live camera view. Currently 21 degrees here in Oklahoma City. Quite a cold night here so far. And it's only expected to drop as we get some more colder air driving its way into the back end of the system here. Continue to draw a lot of moisture here across these regions. So like I said, we continue to see a lot of snow, and then this will not this is actually not let up anytime soon. We are continuing to see this continue to fall here over the next several hours here. Like I said, this is in Oklahoma City, central heart here of Oklahoma. Current temperature 21 degrees Fahrenheit. We are seeing some snow accumulation that is currently ongoing here across the region. So we're going to go ahead and switch on back here for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and go back to our we're actually going to go ahead and take a look here back at our radar view right now. Like I said, this system is in two parts here at the moment. We do have a bit of breaking snowfall across bits of Missouri as well as bits of Illinois here at the moment. But obviously the system is still expected to go on here for the next several days. We are expecting a lot of huge impacts out of the system here as it continues to draw itself here to the east. This system will reconnect later on again here tonight. Like I said, we'll give you guys the latest coverage in regard to this system here, in regard to all the latest information you guys need to know out of the system here. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to a live camera. We'll actually take a look here, like I said, in Buffalo, New York, basically in western New York. We'll take a look here at the current view we're currently looking at here across the nation, across the region here. So we'll go ahead and switch on over to that here right now. So let's go ahead and move here to Buffalo, New York. So this is the current view here in Buffalo. We are seeing some wet roads here. If we take a look here at this puddle, you can actually see that there is a bit of raindrops that is hitting it. So that is showing us that the current precipitation is actually falling here as rain or freezing rain across the region here. So we are currently seeing that. We actually do have a mixture of just rain and freezing rain across the regions because, across the region here, because we do actually have a localized area here of just near freezing temperatures across the region. So we are currently seeing that it is impacting. Obviously, we do have this big old mound of snow, here that is currently kind of pushed up against the curb here. Probably from a snowplow that drove its way here across the region just a little bit ago. Kind of pushing all the snow up. Probably some of this is from the leftover snowstorm we did see just impact the Northeast not too long ago. So obviously, this is the current view here. We are continuing to see some freezing rainfall across the regions. Like I said, guys, we will continue to see, as this system does progress its way to the east, this will actually quickly transition into snow. We are expecting a lot more snow to fall across bits of the areas here, potentially up to 12 inches of snow being possible across these regions. So this is currently what we are taking a look here. Obviously, there is still some cars that are driving their way through the region here. You can currently see that there are still is people traveling. And honestly, guys, I would not recommend travel here at the moment for any of these areas here that are being impacted by the system. A person's being a good person and turning on their turn signals. But like I said, guys, we are seeing... did this dude just do a U-turn? Or is that a new vehicle? Okay, I think that dude just turned around. Or I think that was a new car. Yeah, so like I said, guys, this is currently the view here in Buffalo, New York. And like I said, this is set to transition here over into snow here down the line. This guy, don't know what he's currently up to, but guys, like I said, please be safe out of the system. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to it. If you guys want a local forecast in regard to things, definitely leave it down in the chat below. And I'll definitely get it for you guys. So, this is currently what we are seeing here in Buffalo, New York. Things are actually going on quite crazy here. We are actually seeing a lot of impacts that is currently impacting a lot of the nation here. We actually are seeing a lot of heaviness in terms of snow that is falling, as well as a lot of freezing rain that is currently occurring here. So this is the live view here in Buffalo, New York. Right now falling as rain and freezing rain, but this will quickly transition here over into... this will quickly transition over here into snow as we continue to track here into the overnight hours. So, we're going to go ahead and move on back here to the current radar view in regard to things. We are seeing a broken part of the storm. This thing is broken into two pieces currently. We do have a bit of dry air that's currently located across bits of Missouri as well as parts of Illinois here. So this is the current view in terms of things. We actually do have a lot more ice that is going down here across the south. We'll get up to the north here in a second, but kind of right here where you do see this pink shaded area, this does include bits of bits of Oklahoma, the eastern, basically the southeastern quadrant here. We actually are seeing a lot of ice that is falling out of the system here, just kind of scraping the western side here of Dallas. We are seeing, a lot of that freezing rain, just because the temperatures here are at freezing point. We are seeing, a lot of sleet and freezing rain that's currently falling across these regions here. We are actually seeing a lot of heavy ice impacts, and like I said, this is only the beginning of the system. We're only going to continue to see a lot more snow and ice to impact a lot of the country here. So, guys, like I said, please be safe out of the system. Honestly, make sure that you are ready for the system. We recommend that you guys have a flashlight, as well as food and water, obviously, for these systems, because who knows when you're going to be able to travel next, because we are seeing a lot of impacts, and roads are likely going to be closed here for quite some time. So, across bits of Oklahoma City, as we did see, it was snowing here. We'll actually take a look here back at the live cameras here in a second. Across this white shaded area, we actually are seeing a lot of heavy snow. A lot of heavy snow bands, starting to move its way in through bits of Oklahoma City here. As we did see, actually, on the live picture, we did see a lot of whiteout that was actually going on. Visibility was actually quite low in regard to things. So like I said, guys, we are seeing a lot of heavy snowfall that is falling across those regions. So now we move up here to bits of the Northeast, as well as bits of the Ohio Valley. So this is the same system we're dealing with, just kind of broken. This is the second half of the system here. We are seeing a lot of snow that is currently falling across bits of the northwestern side here of Ohio. A lot more rain across the central and eastern portion here of Ohio at the moment. But we are seeing a lot of snow that is kind of falling, for the major cities here of Indianapolis, as well as bits of Detroit, Michigan, just now starting to kind of reach into that snow here at the moment. as well as bits of Lansing, bits of south central portions of Michigan. We are seeing some snow that is driving its way across the region now. Like I said, we are starting to get a lot more moisture that is drawing its way in here from the southeast at the moment. This is actually drawing in a lot more potential out of this system here. So like I said, we are seeing a lot more moisture, and this will continue to drive its way up here into the overnight hours. So we are expecting a lot more moisture to drive its way into the region, potentially allowing for a lot more snowfall to occur out of the system. So overall, guys, we are expecting a lot of snowfall to fall out of the system. Like I said before, this system right now it is kind of broken into two pieces. Kind of across bits of the Midwest, areas such as Missouri as well as Illinois, kind of broken into two pieces. We do have a little bit more drier air that's kind of across those regions here. But as we progress into the overnight hours here, we will actually see that this will reconnect again. We'll take a look here back at the models here in a second. So, but guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe. If you are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. I'll be greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. We're almost here. We're trying to reach that 500 subscriber goal by the end of February, guys. We absolutely crushed that last goal. So, guys, I just want to go ahead and give you guys a great thank you to all of you guys who are out there. And honestly, guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here. If you guys are just now tuning in, we are dealing with a pretty crazy winter situation here. A lot of potential impacts that is currently going on at the moment. We are seeing a lot of heavy ice and snow across a widespread area here across the nation. We do have a lot of craziness, and this will continue here into the 4th. So we are expecting a lot of winter weather to occur over the next several days out of the system. Now, this system earlier was over 2,000 miles long. Absolutely a very, very insane looking system here. We are seeing a lot of cold air driving down with the system as well. So guys, let's go ahead and move on over here. We're actually going to take a look here at the models. I want to go ahead and point out something. We actually might have another snowstorm that might impact bits of the mid-Atlantic here down the line. There has been some support of this over the last few models here. But obviously, this is just one model. So let's go ahead and see this. So like I said, guys, we'll go ahead and zoom all the way back here. So like I said, we are currently seeing, kind of this dry air across bits of Missouri and through bits of Illinois here. Now, these two parts will connect once again. You can kind of see all this heavy sleet and freezing rain that is expected to fall here across bits of Texas into Oklahoma, Arkansas, bits of Missouri, and a lot of the, Ohio Valley states here. Across these areas, we actually are seeing a lot of heavy potential of ice to occur across a pretty widespread area. Now, as we do track down here even further, this area of low pressure will continue to track its way up to the northeast, driving a lot more snow here across the regions, eventually up into bits of the northeast. Now, like I said, once this system is out, we do have another potential of maybe a little shot of moisture driving its way here across bits of the mid-Atlantic. Nothing too crazy. The latest few models have been kind of ruling this out, but there has been some support of the possibility of a little snowstorm or a little wintry system impacting bits of the southeast into the mid-Atlantic view. So obviously right now there is still a bit of, disagreement, between what some of these models have to say, but we'll just continue monitoring this over the next few days. But honestly, right now, our major concern is this current system that is impacting the region here at the moment. So, switching on back here to the current radar view, this is our current view across the region. We are seeing a lot of ice and sleet that's currently falling across bits of the southern plains, areas such as Texas. It's just really just west here of Dallas is where we are seeing a lot of heavy ice that is occurring here. We actually are expecting a lot of heavy ice and a lot of impacts from this ice to actually occur here over the next several hours. Like I said, this is going to occur over the next few days here into the 4th. So we are currently seeing a lot of snow that is falling across the western side here of Texas and through bits of Oklahoma. Oklahoma City seeing a lot of snow currently across these regions and through bits of southern Kansas as well, where we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts here. Like I said, we do have a bit more drier air that's across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois here. We actually are seeing a bit more dry air that's actually kind of stopping the snowfall here for now, but don't let that fool you because we are expecting this to really kind of kick back off here in the next few hours as this system does progress its way up here to the northeast. We're already starting to see the system kind of drive its way back here into Missouri, kind of near the Springfield area. We actually are starting to see the snow just right here on your radar, literally, just right here on the western side here of Springfield, just now starting to move its way here into bits of the region here in the Midwest. So, across bits of the Ohio Valley, there is that second part to the system. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy snow falling across bits of the areas here of northern portions and central portions here of Indiana, as well as northwestern Ohio, that is currently falling here across these regions. This is currently what we are seeing at the moment. Like I said, guys, we are currently seeing a lot of moisture that is driving its way up here from bits of the southeast, from the Gulf of Mexico, driving its way up here into the southeast, basically fueling the system, allowing for the potential to get quite bad in regard to things. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here, guys. We're going to take a look here at the current view in Oklahoma City. We're going to take a look here in terms of the current conditions, the live camera view here in Oklahoma City. This is what we're currently seeing here. We do have a lot of reduced visibility, obviously, because we are seeing a lot of heavy snow that is falling across these regions here. Currently 21 degrees Fahrenheit across the region, so we are seeing a lot of snowy conditions that is currently impacting these areas here. And like I said, this is not expected to end anytime soon, because like I said, we are getting more moisture driving its way into the system, and we are actually seeing a lot more potential impacts out of the system here. So guys, like I said, please be safe with this system. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to leave them down in the chat. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys if you guys have any of those questions. So let's go ahead and move on back here to the radar view. That was our current view here in Oklahoma City. So in regard to the radar view, like I just said, if you guys are just now joining us, we are seeing a break in the system here at the moment. We are seeing a lot of dry air across bits of Missouri into Illinois. Kind of a break here between these two, between these two halves of the system. They are still the same system. They're still associated with each other. But these will reconnect here into the overnight hours. We'll take a look here at that in regard to the models here in a second. But we are currently seeing a lot more heavier ice that is falling across bits of Oklahoma, kind of across the southeastern quadrant, pretty much the south central portion here of Oklahoma as well. We are seeing a lot of heavy ice that is currently ongoing across these regions here. So guys, like I said, please stay safe out of this system here. This is currently what we are dealing with. So we're going to go ahead and move on over here to our future radar. This is something we have not taken a look here at quite yet. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to our future radar in regard to your NAM 3-kilometer model. So let's go ahead and switch on over to that in terms of things. So this is our current, this is our future radar. So right now it is about 7:30 Eastern time here. So this is the latest model. This is just now starting to come out. This is relatively new information here, guys. So this is currently what we are seeing. So, obviously, like we did see, we do have a bit of dry air that's in place across bits of Missouri. Like I said, this is not expected to last too for long. Because, like I said, as we move here into bits of the overnight hours, kind of around 4 or 5 in the morning, this system will reconnect once again here, kind of pushing all that dry air out of the region. Now, this is for the early morning hour. This is for around 7 o'clock here in the morning. We are expected to see a lot of heavy ice that will be falling across bits of the Ohio Valley, into bits of the Midwest, into the southern plains here. We are expecting a lot of heavy ice and a lot of sleet to fall across these regions here. Like I said, some areas could see up to half an inch of ice, especially across Arkansas. That's kind of where we are seeing the heaviest potential of a lot of ice across these regions. We'll continue to see a lot of snow drive its way up through, especially for St. Louis. We are expecting a decent more snow to fall out of this system here before exiting the region kind of here for around 4 o'clock p.m. here tomorrow afternoon. So we are expecting this thing to track over the next several days here. Now, this system will kind of exit the region here out of the northeast, kind of for the afternoon, evening hours here on the 4th. So we are expecting this system, the system to go on for the next several days here. It is quite a killer of a system, causing all types of current impacts, all types of major impacts across the region here. So this is currently the current view we are seeing here across the region. So like I said, we do have a bit more drier air that is in place across bits of Missouri. This is kind of splitting those systems into two parts here at the moment. A little more dry air across the region. But like I said, as we do track down here in time, these two systems will reconvect, will reconverge here around 5 o'clock in the morning. So this is currently what we are seeing. So guys, let's go ahead and move on back here. This is our current radar view. So like we were seeing here, we are actually dealing with a decent amount of snowfall and ice potential out of the system here at the moment, especially across bits of Oklahoma as well as bits of Texas. We are seeing a lot of heavy ice that is currently impacting these regions here. So guys, like I said before many times, guys, stay safe with the system. If you guys are just now joining us, welcome. We're just taking a look here at the radar view. Like right now, we're dealing with we're actually dealing with this winter system that's currently impacting the nation for one, but this thing is currently split up into two systems here at the moment. We are seeing a lot of craziness that is going. So even though the snow has stopped, areas such as Missouri as well as Illinois, don't let that fool you, because we are expected to see a little bit more snow drive its way through the region here, as we are getting a lot more moisture, as well as this area of low pressure is really starting to kick its way up here. We are starting to get this new area of low pressure that is developing across bits of southern Texas. So we are seeing the potential of a lot of heavy impacts out of the system here down the line. So that is essentially the view right now. So guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at a live view. We'll go ahead and take a look here at a live view here in bits of Indiana, because right now we are seeing a bit of snow that is falling across bits of Indiana. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to South Bend, Indiana. We'll go ahead and take a look here at the current view in terms of things. So Let's go ahead and switch on over here to our cameras here at the moment. So, like I said, this is in South Bend, Indiana. So this, you can actually obviously see, it's kind of hard to see because of the glare that we are seeing here from these street lights. But if you look closely, you can actually see that there is still some flurries that is occurring. We actually do have a bit of snowfall accumulation that is currently, sticking to the ground here at the moment. We can actually see right under these sidewalk lamps that are currently happening here across the region. So we are currently seeing this happen here across these regions. But guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe here. So, honestly, we are seeing a lot of craziness with the system here. So, switching on back here to the current radar view, this is our system. We are monitoring here. We are starting to get a lot of moisture drawing its way up here from bits of the southeast, from bits of the Gulf of Mexico. We actually are seeing a lot of moisture draw its way up here into the states, actually allowing for a lot more moisture, a lot more wintry precipitation to occur further down the line. This is actually fueling the system as we're currently talking here. So this is currently what we are seeing. So we are seeing some rain across the southeast and through bits of the Ohio Valley currently, but don't expect this to hang around too long, because here across the Ohio Valley, this is actually going to change into wintry precipitation here down the line. So this is currently the view we are talking about right now. We do have a lot of ice and snow impacts that is currently impacting bits of Oklahoma, as well as bits of Kansas and bits of Texas as well. We are seeing a lot of impacts that is currently happening here across the region. We are seeing a lot of heavy ice. This is really just west here of Dallas is where we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts of ice and sleet across these regions here. Kind of just right here around the Fort Worth area. You can take a look at this. Basically, this pink area is showing that we are seeing some ice occur in terms of that freezing temperature, or in terms of that freezing line, just right here at the region, allowing for whatever falls, either being rain or sleet, to accumulate and not melt, showing that it is actually, we're at that freezing line here at the moment. So we are currently seeing a lot of craziness that is ongoing here. And of course, we do have some more from the same system here that is actually falling across bits of the central and northern portion here of Indiana. Like we did just see on the current view here as well, in South Bend, Indiana, we actually are seeing snow that is still falling across the region here. And it's just now starting to kind of exit the western side here of Indiana at the moment. We are seeing some snowfall that is still occurring across bits of the northwestern side here of Ohio. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts that is currently impacting a lot of these regions. And we do have a mixture of kind of, snow as well as some, freezing rain across bits of the northeast. Areas of Syracuse kind of seeing some freezing rain across the region. I did believe we did have a camera view for Syracuse, but I don't think it's up right now. So, but the closest one we can look at is one in Buffalo. So let's go ahead and switch on over here, guys, to a camera view here in Buffalo, New York, in regard to what is currently happening here across the region. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the live camera view in terms of what is happening here in Buffalo, New York. So this is currently what we are dealing with. We actually do have some wet roadways, as you can obviously see here. If you take a look at this puddle, you can actually see that it is moving. So this is showing that we do actually have some rain that is falling across these regions here. We actually are seeing a lot of rain that is falling across. Like I said, the temperature is only expected to get quite low. So this is only going to cause things to really actually get kind of worse. PC Gamerware says Dallas is going to have freezing rain soon. Bad for them. They're going to have a lot of high-level bridges off the ground there. Yeah, they do. They actually do. That is going to be a quite big problem, especially across these populated areas here. We are actually seeing, a lot of ice that is starting to drive its way across the region, as well as bits of Oklahoma City, where we actually are seeing a lot of, a lot of snow that is falling across those regions. So we are actually seeing, a lot of wintry impacts across a lot of these areas here. So, all right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and switch on back here to the current radar view. This is the view across the northeast. The view we just take a look at here a second ago, this was Buffalo, New York. And as we can actually see here across bits of Buffalo, where we actually were seeing that rain that was falling. We're kind of in a mixture between bits of freezing rain and between freezing rain and sleet, as well as just normal rain here. Because we are kind of, battling between this freezing point here. Kind of across the region, it is kind of pushing right here on the boundary between freezing and not really freezing. So if you're inside of that freezing point, obviously the rain that is going to fall is going to turn into ice, which ice is a major concern for the system. We are seeing a lot of heavy impacts out of the system here. We are seeing a lot of craziness that is ongoing. So we actually do zoom out here. We actually are seeing the top part of the system. Like I said, the system is kind of split into two pieces here. Across bits of Indiana, does kind of barely include Indianapolis. We are seeing some heavy snow bands drive its way across the region. We are seeing a lot of heavy snow across bits of Michigan, as well as bits of Indiana, as well as northwestern Ohio here at the moment. Like I said, we do have a bit more drier area that is kind of building its way in across bits of Missouri, as well as bits of Illinois here at the moment. And we actually start to get a little more snow that's starting to fall here across bits of the southern plains. In areas such as Oklahoma City, we actually are seeing a lot of snow that is falling across the region, as well as a lot of ice, like I was saying here, across bits of the central and north central portion here of Texas, as well as bits of the southeastern quadrant here of Oklahoma. So guys, like I said before, if you guys are just now joining us, obviously welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe and warm. Obviously the major concern with this system is ice and snow, and so guys, we're going to continue to give you guys the latest coverage here in regard to the system here. Like I said, if you have any questions about this, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. If you guys want me to do a personal forecast for what area near you might expect a decent amount of snowfall, let me know, and I'll definitely try to get to it for you guys. Obviously, the number one concern here is your guys' safety. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys the latest information regarding this system here in terms of things. So, like I said, we are currently seeing a bit of a broken system here, where this thing is kind of split up into two different sections. This thing is still the same system. These systems are still currently the same. We just have a little bit of dry air that's currently across bits of Missouri into Illinois. Now, if you guys here kind of near the St. Louis area, you actually did see a decent amount of snowfall that has already fallen across the region. But don't be fooled, because we are expecting a little bit more snow to fall across these regions here, as this system we are currently seeing here across bits of the southern plains. And this is actually starting to kind of strengthen here. We actually are getting a new area of low pressure that is developing across these regions, and this will continue to track its way up here to the northeast, eventually dragging up all this ice and snow that we do currently see here right now at the moment across bits of the plains and through bits of the Midwest, and eventually down here into bits of the Ohio Valley further down the line, causing a lot more heavy ice impacts across bits of the Ohio Valley and through bits of the Tennessee Valley as well, even bits in the northeast. PC Gamer says, great forecast as always. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Glad to see you guys here. If you guys are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe with the system. And like I said before, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So this is currently what we are seeing here across the nation. So guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at the future radar. So let's go ahead and take a look here at timing with the system. I'm sure, guys, a lot of you are kind of questioning in terms of when the system is going to impact the area near you. I got you covered, guys. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the future radar. This is currently what we are taking a look at. This is for 8 o'clock p.m. This is just in about 12 minutes or so. So this is what we are expecting. So right now, what we were seeing on the current radar view, take a glimpse back again, we do have this kind of split area here of, a lot of, dry air that is kind of in place across bits of Missouri. So we move back here to the future radar. We actually see that that is in place. But like I said before, guys, this is expected to change here. This is expected to reconnect here kind of across the early morning hours here. We're talking around 5 o'clock in the morning. This will be reconnected. Now, guys, like I said, we are getting a lot more moisture fueling the storm, which does allow for a lot more possible precipitation to fall out of the system here. Across bits of the southern plains, we are seeing a lot of heavy ice, as well as a lot of heavy snow that is set to fall across bits of Oklahoma and bits of Texas here. Now, this will continue its way up here into the early morning hours here for tomorrow. Into around, as we start to move into around the afternoon hours, we actually will start to see the afternoon hour here around 12 o'clock in the afternoon here for tomorrow. We will actually see a lot of heavy ice, kind of across this purple and kind of almost red shade area. This is showing that we are seeing a lot of sleet and freezing rain that is falling across these areas here. Now, like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of that ice impact bits of the southern plains. This will be the same system that will cause a lot of ice further down the line here across bits of the Tennessee, Ohio Valley here, and eventually up into the northeast, where we are expecting a lot of craziness to occur, a lot of impacts, a lot of snow and ice to occur out of the system here. So guys, like I said, please stay safe. Guys, if you're not prepared already, you should definitely prepare for the system. Make sure your generator's up and running, because like I said, we are expecting the possibility of a lot of power outages to occur out of this region. I'll go ahead and switch on over here to the radar view. Like I said, make sure that your generator is up and running, because like I said, you don't want to lose power, and definitely losing power is kind of a concern with the system, just the fact of how much ice we are dealing with out of these regions here. So like I said, you want to be prepared. Make sure that they're filled up with gas. Same thing with your car. Make sure you have food and water. Have a flashlight with some extra batteries would be definitely good, because if you do have a power outage, it's obviously good to be able to see around the house and stuff like that. So make sure you do have those. Make sure your snow blower is working, because like I said, we are expecting a lot of potential heavy snow out of the system as well. Just make sure that you guys are prepared and on top of the system. And like I said, guys, I'll do my part. You guys do your part. Make sure that you are prepared for the system. Make sure you guys have a plan. I'll do my part by giving you guys the latest information, the current things that we are seeing here across the nation, as well as the latest coverage in regard to the system, guys. So I got you guys covered. Now, guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. If you are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. We're trying to reach that 500 subscriber goal by the end of February, so we greatly appreciate you guys. I really, really appreciate all of your support. So this is currently what we are seeing. We do have a bit of dry air that is kind of breaking up this system into two parts here. So areas such as St. Louis, like we were seeing a lot of snow earlier, this is really breaking up here now. We are actually seeing two parts of the system that is currently occurring across these regions. Now, obviously, the southern portion here, across the plains, we do have a bit more, a little bit more warmer air that is driving its way into the region here. So obviously, we are having a little bit more melting of some snow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which is actually allowing for a lot of this to transition into rain. But the surface is still at that freezing mark, which actually still allows for this to actually freeze into ice. So ice is a big concern. This is a big thing that's ongoing right now. San Angelo currently seeing some ice. Just really kind of scraping here, just west of Dallas. It's kind of right where we are seeing a lot of this craziness that is going on here across the region here. Wichita falls right here, kind of between that snow and sleet and freezing rain line, kind of right there between that mixture precipitation line here, riding the coast here, kind of riding the side here of the system. Now, Oklahoma City, like we actually did see on the live view a little bit ago, we actually are seeing nothing but pure snow at the moment. We are starting to see, kind of a lot of these heavier snow bands that are driving its way into the region here, kind of across this white area. It's basically signifying that we are having some heavy snow bands driving its way up across the region. Now, Wichita, across bits of southeastern Kansas, we actually are seeing a lot of snow that is falling across these regions here. Just now starting to kind of scrape its way in here, just starting to kind of creep its way up here into Kansas City at the moment. It will probably be, and we actually looks like we are getting some snow showers out of the system, but this will eventually turn into just pure snow here down the line as this system starts to engulf this portion of the state here. Now, eventually, this will track its way up to the northeast and through St. Louis, once again delivering a little bit more snowfall, as well as possibly some ice across a lot of these regions here. Like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur out of the system here at the moment. We are expecting a lot of heavy ice, as well as a lot of heavy snow across these areas here. Eventually, drag its way up here into Springfield. And right now, we are currently seeing some snow out of the second part of the system that is currently impacting bits of the Ohio Valley here. For Indianapolis and through bits of Detroit, Michigan, just now starting to kind of get into the region there. Across the region, as we start to see a lot of rain that is currently falling across bits of southeast and through bits of the Tennessee Valley and Mid-Atlantic view. But like I said, we are kind of seeing this transition into that wintry precipitation, all that wintry mess across bits of the Ohio Valley as well as bits of the Northeast. So this is currently what we are seeing here at the moment. So let's go ahead, guys, and zoom on in here. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at another camera view. So what we didn't take a look here at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So let's go ahead and zoom on over here to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and let's see what the live footage looks like across the region. Now, across the radar view, in regard to Pittsburgh, it's actually raining, it does look like, so we'll go ahead and see what the current view here is looking like across bits of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, switching on over here, this is your live view of the city skylines here. We're taking a look here. Honestly, it's kind of hard to see what's happening, but obviously it's a beautiful sight here. It does look like we do have a bit of snow that's on the ground. You can kind of see here, kind of on just kind of the sides here, just off the roads, we are seeing a bit of snow. It does look like across the region. This is currently what we are seeing here at the moment. But obviously, we do still see a lot of cars that are still driving its way down here on the interstate. So we are obviously seeing that the roads are still likely okay for now, but this will probably change here down the line. Pittsburgh, I don't believe is supposed to get too much out of this system here, but this is the current view. We are currently taking a look here in Pittsburgh at the time. So, guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here back to the current radar view. This is our current view across the nation. We are seeing a bit of dry air that's kind of breaking up the system into two pieces across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois here at the moment. We are seeing a lot more ice out of the southern part of the system here. This does include bits of central parts of Texas, north central portion as well as southeastern Oklahoma. We actually are seeing a lot of ice that is currently falling, a lot of sleet and freezing rain across the region that is leading to a lot of ice accumulations as well as a lot of impacts down the line. We are seeing a lot of stuff that is currently happening here at the moment, as well as bits of Oklahoma City. Kind of across this white area here, we actually are seeing a lot of snow that is falling across these regions at the moment. This is currently falling across these areas here. Like I said, this system is tracking its way up here to northeast. So the current areas that are not seeing snow here in bits of Missouri as well as bits of Illinois, don't worry. You are expected to get more snow here. Obviously, if you are a snow lover, that's good news. But if you don't like snow, obviously, that's not a good news. And honestly, the bad news is that we might actually see a lot of this ice mix in as well. We are expecting a lot of potential ice impacts across bits of Arkansas. I mean, Little Rock, kind of right here in kind of the bullseye zone here, potentially getting quite bad here across Little Rock. We actually are expecting some areas, maybe even getting up to, maybe near half an inch of ice across bits of Arkansas. So we are expecting a lot of heavy conditions to occur across these regions here. So overall, guys, please stay safe out of the system, guys. We'll continue to give you guys the latest coverage. Like I said, do your part, do your end. Make sure you guys are prepared for the system. Make sure you guys are ready. Make sure you have food and water to last a few days because, like I said, expect to be hunkered down here for a little bit because we are expecting some pretty bad road conditions expected to occur with the amount of ice and snow that we actually are seeing here out of the system here at the moment. So we are actually seeing a lot of potential impacts here at the moment. So, like I said, we are seeing this dry air kind of split the system into two parts here. And so across the northern portion here, it actually is snowing across bits of Michigan, kind of moving its way near the Detroit area here at the moment. This will continue tracking its way up here to the northeast here, eventually dragging in a lot more snowfall across these regions here. Now, we are currently seeing some snow that is falling across bits of Indiana here, some snow showers across bits of Illinois at the moment in the current radar view. But like I said, we are expecting that second wave to kind of drive its way up here. This will, these two little splits, these two halves of the system will reconverge here, kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning here for tonight on the eastern side here. This is when these two systems or these two halves will converge once again here. We actually are seeing, some mixture of precipitation kind of falling around the Buffalo shaded area here, or the Buffalo area here, kind of across this pink area. We actually are seeing some icing that is occurring, some freezing rain, as well as some sleet that is taking off here across the region. Now, that eventually this will transition fully into snow down the line, because we will expect a lot of potential snowfall across these regions. So like I said, we are expecting the potential of over a foot of snow across some of these regions here. So guys, let's go and see here. Andy says, I have not fixed a hole in my house yet. Oh, the tree cause. I remember you saying that, Andy. I hope that you're okay, and I'm glad to see that you are okay out of that. I bet that's pretty scary just to know that that tree that hit your house. So yeah, Andy, if you guys are just now joining, Andy last stream had a tree hit his house, puncture a hole through the top of his roof, and he still has not gotten it fixed. That's crazy, Andy. But obviously, the most important news is that you're actually okay out of this. That is honestly the most important thing here. But guys, let's go ahead and switch over here. We're going to take a look here at the actual snowfall accumulations. This is how much snow we are expecting out of the system. But first, we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the National Weather Service hazards, guys. I actually want to go ahead and touch up on this because I have not yet so far this stream. So switching on over here, guys, to our National Weather Service hazards. These are our current hazards across the nation. And guys, we have a lot that's currently going on here. Across these areas here. So kind of across this pink, we do have some winter storm warnings in effect, showing that heavy impacts of winter weather is expected to happen here. Kind of across this purple area, this is where we actually have some ice storm warnings. This does include bits of eastern Arkansas, western parts of Tennessee, as well as basically central and western Kentucky, southern Indiana as well, where we are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur. Let's go and see here. Andy says schools are starting to close here near Buffalo. Yeah, and honestly, that is kind of expected, just out of how much snow we are expecting across a lot of these areas here. So like I said, across this kind of blue shade area here, we do have some winter weather advisories in effect, showing that some impacts of winter weather is expected to occur. Out of the system here. We actually do have some flood watches in effect across this green shade area. We actually are seeing a lot of excessive rainfall, as we are starting to see a lot of moisture really draw its way up here into the southeast here at the moment. We are currently seeing a lot of that drive its way across the region. So, guys, moving on back here to the current radar view, we'll get to snowfall accumulations here in 1 second. So, just hold on tight for 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to go back and forth between the people who are just now joining here. So, we actually are seeing a lot of heavy snow. This is actually broken up here into two systems here. We actually do have a bit of dry air that's currently falling, or that's actually, dry air isn't falling. We do have a bit of dry air that's actually in place here across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois here at the moment. We actually are seeing that kind of break up the system into two pieces. Now, we are seeing a lot more heavier ice out of the southern part. It's actually driving up a lot of ice across bits of Texas and through Oklahoma here at the moment, as well as a lot of snow that is currently falling across bits of this upper part of the system here, across bits of the Ohio Valley and through bits of the Northeast. So, guys, this is currently what we are seeing. There is a lot of impacts that is currently impacting the nation, guys. So, like I said before, please stay safe out of this, guys. We are expecting a lot of heavy impacts to occur. And guys, honestly, your safety is the number one concern here. So that's why we're giving you guys the latest coverage here. If you guys have any questions, like I said, once again, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. As well as if you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing. We're trying to reach that 500 subscriber mark by the end of February. You guys absolutely crushed that last subscriber goal. So, guys, I just want to go ahead and give you guys another thank you for that. It was greatly appreciated. So, let's go ahead and see here. But not in southwestern New York where I live. I got you, Andy. So we actually are seeing, like we did see on the hazards, we actually do have a lot of we actually do have some winter storm warnings that are in effect. So do not be, honestly, do not be surprised if actually we do see your schools actually close down across those regions, because we are expecting a lot of heavy snow. Like I said, potentially up and over a foot of snow across some of these areas here. So let's go ahead, guys, and move on over here to the expected snowfall out of the system. Like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy snow that is set to fall out of the system here. We actually are expecting a lot of potential impacts across a large margin here of the United States. So now we're going to move on over here to our National Weather Service forecast in regard to things. So we'll go ahead and switch our scenes here right now. So this is exactly how much we are expecting now. It's kind of hard to picture a reference right now. I'll kind of give you guys a better idea here. So across this light blue shaded area, kind of right here where my mouse is located, this is where we are expecting the potential of 1 to 3 inches of snow, 3 to 5 across the dark blue. Now, as we start to reach here kind of in this pink shaded area, this is where we are starting to get a lot more significant snowfall here out of the system, potentially up here to 6 to 10 inches across the region here. Track its way up here into bits of bits of the Ohio Valley as well as the Northeast. Now, as we start to reach kind of this maroon, almost red shaded color here, this is kind of where we are expecting to see over a foot of snow across bits of eastern New York, maybe even some parts of western New York as well, potentially getting up and over a foot of snow, basically across bits of Vermont, New Hampshire as well, and maybe even eastern portions of Maine here. Andy says the tree that fell on my house was a pine tree. It broke off of a big wind gust. Yeah, that's not good, Andy. I'm just glad to see that you are okay out of this. Big pine tree, huge. Yeah. Those pine trees I've seen, those things actually are quite big. Pine trees can get pretty big up in size. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to our current radar view. This is what we're talking about here across the nation. This is currently what we are seeing here, currently unfolding here across the area. And we are seeing a lot of snow and ice impacts that's currently occurring here across the nation. We actually are seeing a lot of ice is currently falling across bits of central Texas, as well as bits of southeastern Oklahoma. We are seeing a lot of impacts that is currently occurring here across these regions at the moment. Now, like I said, this system is kind of broken up into two parts at the moment. We actually are seeing two halves of the system, one across bits of the Ohio Valley into the northeast, and one across the central plains into the southern plains. But like I said, these systems are associated with one another. They are the same system, and they will reconverge here later on tonight. They will become one system again. One long line of snow and ice will form again as we move here kind of across, those early morning hours here, especially kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning. We will start to see a lot of snow and a lot of ice starting to fall. Now, areas of Arkansas, this is kind of where we are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur, potentially over a half an inch being possible across a lot of these regions here. So that is a lot of catastrophic impacts if this actually does play out. Obviously we are seeing already a lot of heavy ice impacts across the region. So switching on over here, guys, this is our local radar view. This is across bits of basically northeastern Texas. Now across this green area, we actually are seeing a lot of rain that is falling, more sleet and freezing rain. More freezing rain across this red, almost kind of pink shaded area. This is more freezing rain. We do have a lot more sleet kind of across this golden orange shaded color across the region. So this is currently, we are taking a look here across bits the north central as well as the northeastern portion of Texas. So like we're going ahead and say, guys, we are currently dealing with two parts of the system. Like I said, we do have a lot of dry air across bits of Missouri into Illinois here at the moment. This is actually crazy here. Let's go and see here. I was on the stream when I heard a big bang. Sorry for the cap stuck on. You're good. Honestly, that is crazy, Andy, and I bet that was pretty loud too. Especially, like I said, you said that those pine trees are quite large, and honestly, they can get pretty large in size. So I'm just glad, like I said before, I'm glad to see that you were safe out of that. But guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe with the system. We are currently monitoring this craziness that is currently unfolding across the nation. Like I said, this is expected to fall here over the next several days here. We are expecting a lot of snowfall as well as a lot of ice to impact a lot of the country here. Now, this system is currently kind of broken up here into two systems here at the moment. We do have a bit of dry air that is currently falling, or currently across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois, but don't let that fool you, because we are expecting a lot. We actually are expecting the snow and ice to drive its way across the region. This, these two current halves that's kind of breaking up the system will kind of converge. It will converge once again here across the early morning hours here, kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of when we are expecting these two systems to reconverge across the areas here. Now, obviously, we are seeing a lot of ice impacts that is currently falling here across bits of Texas, kind of across the north central portion, as well as southeastern Oklahoma. Kind of across this, kind of pink shaded area, we actually are seeing a lot of sleet and freezing rain mixing in across this region, showing that we are seeing a lot of freezing rain and a lot of ice that is actually currently impacting these regions here Honestly, this is causing some pretty crazy conditions across the area. So, guys, like I said before, please stay safe. Make sure that you guys are prepared. If you guys have any questions, like I said, once again, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them. And honestly, guys, your safety is the number one concern here in terms of the system, because there is a lot of impacts over a widespread margin. And we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts from the northeast all the way down to the southern plains. Over a large area, we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts out of the system. Now, like I said, these two parts, these two halves of the system will reconverge here later on, kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning, like I am saying. We'll take a look at the future radar here in a moment. But this is currently what we are seeing here across the region. Now, we are currently getting a lot more moisture driving its way up here from the Gulf of Mexico into the southeast, as well as bits of the Tennessee mid-Atlantic view. We actually do have some flood watches that are in effect kind of for these areas here, basically because we are seeing a lot of excessive rainfall, basically because all this moisture is driving its way in from the warmer Gulf of Mexico, which is really drawing up a lot more moisture, which is only fueling a lot more wintry precipitation across bits of the north. So this is currently what we are seeing here at the moment. So like I said, guys, make sure that you are prepared, make sure that you are safe, guys, because this is actually causing a lot of crazy impacts across a lot of the nation here. So this is the current view. Like I said, we'll go ahead and zoom into the southern plains. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy ice. It looks like it's just now really starting to kind of scrape by the Dallas area. Right here in Dallas, Texas, we are starting to see some of that freezing rain, as well as a lot of that sleet starting to kind of pull itself down as the temperature does start to drop, as we start to get that nighttime starting to kind of kick in. The sun is setting across the region, so we are actually seeing a lot more colder air starting to drive its way in the region. So all the precipitation that we are currently seeing here will actually start to freeze once it hits the surface. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy snowfall that is kind of falling, kind of right here around the borderline of Wichita Falls, Oklahoma City, as well as Lawton. We are seeing a lot of heavy snowfall that is currently falling across these regions here at the moment. This is currently what we are taking a look at. Now, we are seeing a lot of heavy snow, some more snow showers across bits of the areas here, kind of from Fort Stockton, across bits of the western side here of Texas. Now, like I said before, guys, we do have a bit more drier air across bits of the region here of Missouri, kind of across these areas. These areas have already seen a bit of snowfall that has already occurred here across the region. So basically, what we are seeing here, like I said, for areas such as St. Louis, Springfield, as well as Jefferson City, you guys are not done yet. We are seeing this other system, or this other half of the system, drive its way up here to the northeast, getting ready to hit these areas here later on tonight into this evening. We are seeing, this is going to start to infiltrate the region here, allowing for a lot more snow to fall across the region, bringing in a lot more ice than that first wave we actually did see across the region there. So this is currently what we are seeing here across the nation. Now, we do move ourselves up here to the Ohio Valley. We actually are seeing, a lot more snow that is kind of falling across bits of Indiana, as well as northwestern Ohio and southern parts of Michigan. This is tracking its way up here to the northeast. Now, for the northeastern states here, we actually are seeing a lot of snowfall. Near Syracuse, we're actually seeing a lot of snow showers, as well as some freezing rain showers. Mixture of precipitation across the region there. Now, Buffalo, kind of the same story here. We're just kind of riding near that freezing point. So we're kind of just now starting to see kind of maybe some impacts of winter precipitation in terms of freezing rain, as well as some sleet across those regions here. So overall, this is currently what we are seeing here impact the nation. But guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are doing good. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. If you guys are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. That'll be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of February, guys, so any support helps. It'll be greatly appreciated. So, but guys, that is essentially what we are talking about at the moment. So let's go ahead and take a look here back at Oklahoma City. I want to go ahead and get the latest view in regard to what is currently happening here across Oklahoma City. And so we'll go ahead and pull up the latest camera view for you guys right now. So this is our latest coverage. This is our latest view here in Oklahoma City. If you guys do not know where Oklahoma City is, it is in central Oklahoma. We actually are seeing a lot of whiteout conditions, a lot of poor visibilities that is going on across the regions here. Because we are seeing a lot of heavy snowfall. The temperature is currently 20 degrees Fahrenheit across the region. So obviously, we are seeing this winter precipitation stick to the ground here. So this is currently ongoing here across the moment. Like I said, this is not expected to end up. This is not expected to end anytime soon, because we are actually seeing, a lot of snow that is continuing to fall across these regions. Now, like I said, we go ahead and zoom back over here to the radar view across to Oklahoma City. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We actually are seeing the snow is currently falling, and this thing is tracking its way up to the northeast. So you can imagine it still has to get through all of this snowfall before it ends. So obviously it does still have a while before we are out of the region here of Oklahoma City. So obviously we are currently still seeing a lot of heavy snowfall that is currently falling across a lot of these areas here. So like I said, guys, please stay safe. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy winter impacts across a lot of these regions here. So, but guys, and like I said, if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. And if you guys, have any questions, like I said, if you guys want me to forecast for a specific area here, feel free to leave that down there as well. I will definitely try to get to it for you guys if you have any questions in terms of forecasts, in terms of how much you might see across your local area. We actually are accepting forecasts for you guys because obviously the main goal of this stream is to give you guys the latest information, make sure you guys are safe, and make sure that you guys are well prepared for the system, because like I said, we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts in both ice and in both snow that is expected to fall here. That is actually ongoing here at the moment. So we are seeing a lot of those heavy impacts across the region. So guys, like I said, be safe out of the system. We are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is actually starting to unfold here. So, but guys, if there is any specific product that you want to look at, feel free to leave it down in the chat below. We also are taking requests to you guys. If you have any questions here, really about anything, would be greatly appreciated. So guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at the live camera view. We're going to go switch on over here to live camera view at bits of Dallas, Texas. So like we were saying, we are kind of at that margin between freezing rain as well as just normal rain here across the region. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to Dallas, Texas. This is our current view across Dallas. Now, obviously, it is kind of raining here. You can obviously see by that glare we are seeing, from the city lights, kind of reflecting here on the camera view. We actually are seeing, actually are currently seeing, some rain that is falling. Now, the temperature is right here, almost near the freezing line. We're actually talking 34 degrees Fahrenheit across the region. So we actually are seeing, a lot of, kind of starting to ride here close to that freezing marker, which is kind of bad news, because here soon that could quickly change on over here to winter precipitation. Once that does, everything that has fallen will start to freeze, and ice will start to grow, and we'll start to get a lot more heavier impacts across these areas here. So that is currently what we are talking about across the areas here. So guys, we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to back to the radar view. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here for about 5 or 10 minutes or so, guys. So guys, hang tight here for a little bit. We'll be back momentarily. If you have any questions, I'll still be active here in chat. If you guys do want to support our channel, we do have our donations in the description below, as well as the chat, so you guys can check it out. It'll help support us on our future streams. So guys, anything is greatly appreciated. But guys, we'll be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So hang tight. We'll be back momentarily. Alright, guys, we are back. Sorry for the break here. We're just taking a little bit of a break here because we were talking for quite a while. So, but guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here. So we're going to be going over the latest information regarding this winter storm that's currently impacting the nation. We actually do see the system that is broken up here. Really into two parts here at the moment. We actually do see a bit of dry air that's currently infiltrating bits of Missouri, as well as bits of Illinois here at the moment. We actually are seeing a bit of dry air that's currently in place across these regions. So, but like I said, this will eventually reconnect itself here down the line. We actually are seeing the potential of a lot of heavy snowfall to fall across these regions here. We are actually expecting a decent amount of snowfall out of the system. So overall, guys, please stay safe with this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you all. Like I said, this is a crazy situation we are currently dealing with. A lot of impacts are forecast to occur here down the line. We actually are seeing a lot of potential ice, a lot of bad icing to occur across bits of Texas as well as bits of Oklahoma. So right across this area here, right here where my marker is located, this does include bits of Oklahoma, basically southeastern quadrant, as well as bits of central Texas. We actually are dealing with basically some freezing conditions. We actually do have some ice and sleet that's going on here, so basically just sleet and freezing rain that's currently happening across those pink shaded areas here. So we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts in regard to that here at the moment. But like I said, this is expected to shoot its way up here to the northeast. This will eventually cause a lot of ice impacts across a lot of these areas here, stretching all the way down from the southern plains in through bits of the Tennessee Valley, into the Midwest, as well as the Ohio Valley, and eventually up into the northeast, as we're about to see here in a second. So, but guys, this is, like I said, this is kind of broken up here into two halves right now at the moment, but this will reconverge kind of across the morning hours here, kind of across maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. So the areas of Missouri just now starting to kind of get the brink here of the second part of the system. We've already seen a lot of heavy snowfall from the first part. We're already just now starting to see some snow kind of driving its way across bits of the Kansas City area here, just kind of south of it, and just now kind of starting to move its way towards the Springfield, Missouri. We're actually already starting to see some snow falling in Joplin, tracking its way directly towards Jefferson City, eventually impacting St. Louis yet again, with potentially some more ice out of this one. Compared to what we did actually see with with that previous storm system we actually did see that just impacted earlier today. So that is currently what we are dealing with here. We actually are seeing a lot of dry air that is kind of building up inside of the system here across the central portion. Now this will converge here down the line. We'll take a look at that here in a second. So, like I said, we are currently seeing some more snow that is falling across bits of Indiana, as well as northwestern Ohio, southern Michigan as well as some more snow showers, as well as some freezing rain across bits of the northeast. We actually are seeing some pretty big impacts that is currently happening across these regions, as we actually did take a look here at the live views just a little bit ago. So guys, let's go ahead and zoom on over here. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at the future radar in regard to things. This is what we are expecting here in the future. It is currently 8:21 p.m. Eastern time, so we're going to go ahead and switch on over here. So this is 8 o'clock. And like we're seeing here on the actual radar view, we actually do have a bit of dry air that is kind of separating these two halves of the storm across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois. Now, as we do track down here in time, like I said, these two systems are set to converge. These two parts are set to converge here down the line. We are kind of expecting, a lot of ice to start driving its way up here into bits of Arkansas, kind of around. We're going to start to see some ice start to kind of pull its way in the region here. Kind of by around 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when we're expecting to see a lot of ice starting to drive its way in the region here. Eventually driving its way up across bits of the Midwest into the Ohio Valley here, kind of just dodging St. Louis. St. Louis is kind of more expected a snow event rather than ice. Now, a little bit further south, areas such as Arkansas, it's kind of where we are expecting the heaviest amount of ice to occur across the region. It's kind of where we are expecting the potential of maybe up to a half an inch of ice to occur across a lot of these regions here. So we are actually expecting a lot of heavy impacts to occur. Now, like I said, this system will track its way up here to the northeast. A lot of impacts to occur across the Ohio Valley as well as the northeast. Eventually, this is also going to probably cause some more. This is probably going to cause some ice to occur across bits of the northeast as well. So not only are we seeing a lot of heavy ice impacts across bits of southern plains, so it'll eventually track its way to the Midwest, Ohio Valley, as well as the northeast here, completely exiting the country here, pretty much for the afternoon hours, afternoon and evening hours here for the 4th of February. It's kind of when we are expecting to see this system relatively dry its way out of the region here. So this is currently what we are seeing here in regard to things. So that is according to your latest future radar view. Now, guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at the wind gusts. Like I said, we are expecting probably some windy gusts to occur. So let's go ahead and move on over here to our National Weather Service forecast in regard to things. So mind my screen here for a second. We're just going to go ahead and switch on over here to the National Weather Service forecast tab. we'll take a look here at the max expected wind gusts to occur across these regions. So, kind of where we are seeing, kind of these red shaded colors, this is kind of where we are expecting maybe the potential of up to 40 mile per hour winds across some of these regions. This does include bits of Indiana as well as bits of western Ohio currently across these regions. Now, we're not expecting too much, not too much windy conditions. Unlike the last system, we did just see impact the northeast. A little bit less severe, but this is gusts, basically how fast the wind could get up to at times. This is not sustained. If it was sustained, it would be over a minute long. But like I said, we are expecting some of these areas here to kind of get over 40 miles per hour across a lot of these regions here. Now, in terms of snowfall, guys, here's your snowfall forecast from your National Weather Service. We are expecting a lot of heavy snow to occur across a lot of these regions here. We actually are talking the potential maybe 1 to 3 inches across bits of this light blue shaded color, 3 to 5 across the dark blue, as well as kind of we're starting to move into the more heavier snowfall once we kind of reach this pink shaded area, more 6 to 10 inches across the region there. So that is kind of what we are set to see. Now, areas of St. Louis, you're kind of right here in the bullseye, potentially seeing over or near, maybe near 10 inches of snow. Now, as we start to kind of reach here into bits of the northeast, kind of where you start to see this red shaded color, this is where we are a little bit more confident. We actually could see the possibility of maybe up and over a foot of snow across these regions there. So that is kind of what we are expecting here. Overall, we are expecting a decent amount of snowfall out of the system. Now, in regard to ice, now this only goes out for a day, so this is not the whole entire system. But we are expecting a lot of potential ice to occur, especially across Arkansas. It's kind of where we are seeing the kind of bullseye point in terms of all the snow, all the ice we could see, potentially up to a half an inch being possible across bits of central portions of Arkansas. Like I said, we will continue to start to see a lot of the ice start to drive its way into the region here kind of earlier tomorrow morning. It's kind of when we will start to see a lot of ice drive its way into Arkansas. Eventually, this will track its way up here to the northeast. Like I said before, guys, this is not for the whole entire system. This is just for the next day. This will also drive some ice across bits of the northeast down the line. So let's go and see here. Let's go and see. Do I know who Brian is? I do not know who that is, Andy. I have no idea. But like I said, guys, this is our current impacts. This is our latest forecast in regard to our ice accumulation. Like I said, we are expecting the heaviest to occur across bits of Arkansas, western Tennessee, as well as western Kentucky. Kind of expected to get the worst out of this ice system. So, guys, let's go ahead and move on here to the temperatures for today. Now, right now, these are your max expected temperatures. We are seeing this very, very strong cold front that is driving its way through the region here at the moment. So, we're kind of looking here at our freezing line right here, kind of across bits of the northeast, driving its way down all the way to the southern plains here. So, this is right here, again, right here where I'm drawing my marker. This is where we are seeing freezing temperatures all across the interior portion here, kind of excluding this little area here in southern parts of Montana. We are seeing a lot of freezing temperatures. Now, we are starting to kind of break the sub-zero line once we kind of reach this purple shade area. Some of these areas here kind of reaching in the negatives. Now, wait till you see tonight's temperatures, because it is going to be a very, very cold one, yet again, for a lot of these areas here. Probably even the coldest night we've seen so far this year. We'll get to that here in a second. But like I said, we are currently seeing this cold front drive its way across the nation here. And like we were seeing across bits of New York, kind of near the region here, we actually are seeing actually some freezing temperatures to occur across the region. This is actually for tomorrow's forecast. I should go ahead and mention that. This is for tomorrow's line. So like we were seeing, we actually are expecting that freezing temperatures across this area here. Now, as we do move here into tonight, like I said, we are expecting some very, very cold temperatures to occur. Take a look at this, guys. We are expecting some negative temperatures, well in the negatives, to occur across bits of the region here. So we are expecting, we're going to go ahead and start off with the freezing line. This is kind of including these areas here. Basically all across the southeast, we actually are expecting a lot of above freezing temperatures to occur across those regions here. Now, we are kind of expecting, right where that sub-freezing temperature line is expected to occur, it's kind of right here at this purple shade area. These are the areas we are expecting potentially single digits to negative temperatures across these regions here. Now, take a look at this. Across the western side here of Minnesota, we actually are seeing, a lot of, really cold potential, really cold potential here. We're talking negative 30 degrees across the western side here in Minnesota, as well as eastern portions of North Dakota. Let's go see. Andy says, will the two parts of the winter storm connect? Yeah, it actually will here down the line. We'll actually see that occur here, kind of across the early morning hours here for tomorrow. Kind of around 5 o'clock is kind of when we are set to see these two systems reconnect to each other. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, that is kind of what we are expecting here. All right, so guys, if you're just now tuning in, obviously welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the models in regard to things, because like I said, we are expecting a lot of crazy impacts. But first, before we take a look at the models, I want to go ahead and touch up on our latest radar view. This is our current radar view across the nation, so we'll go ahead and switch on over to that, guys. So we'll go ahead and see exactly what we are talking about right now. So here's the current radar view. We actually are dealing with a lot of ice and snow that's currently impacting a lot of the nation here. We actually are seeing a lot of snowfall, as well as a lot of ice, like I did just say. Now across the pink shade areas here, so we are expecting a lot of freezing rain, as well as a lot of sleet that's currently ongoing here at the moment. That is currently what we are seeing here across the area. Now, eventually, this will track its way up here to the northeast, east-northeast across the regions. This will actually drive in a lot more the ice across bits of Arkansas. Like I said, Arkansas is kind of set to see the worst in terms of ice out of the system here. Eventually, kind of further down the line, tracking its way up here to the northeast, driving a lot of potential ice impacts. Like I said, the heaviest is expected across bits of Arkansas. Now, the snow will follow along with it. Now, these two parts of the system, we actually are seeing a little bit of dry air in between both of these halves of the system here. This is the same system we are talking about. They are associated with the same thing. This is just a cold front, along the region here. Now we are actually seeing in the models, in the future radar, we actually are seeing the possibility that these two systems will reconverge here, kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning here. That's kind of what we are set to see. Now, this kind of gap we are seeing right now is not going to last for not too much longer, because like I said, we are expecting to see potentially a lot more snow kind of convect, starting to move its way into, connect to these regions here. So we are expecting the system to really kind of, build itself back together here down the line. So that is essentially what we are talking about in terms of the current radar view. Now, guys, let's go ahead and move on over here to our forecast models in regard to things. Now, before we do that, I want to go ahead and say, guys, if you are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. It would be greatly appreciated. We are trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of February. So, guys, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated here. So let's go ahead and move on over here to our models. First up, we're going to take a look here at the GFS model in regard to things. Like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy, a lot of heavy ice as well as a lot of heavy snow to occur. So let's go ahead and move on over here to our forecast models in regard to our GFS model. So let's go ahead and see. We'll go ahead and switch on over to this right now for you guys. So we'll go ahead and get the latest view. Andy says, why is the gap there? So the gap is there because we do have a bit more drier air that's kind of, splitting the two halves across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois. So for storms to occur, you need a lot more moisture air. You need a lot of moisture, and that's what the opposite is going on across bits of Missouri. It's a lot less moisture, which is allowing for more drier conditions, which allows for not much rain or winter precipitation to fall across those regions there. So that answers your question. So first up, like I said, we're taking a look here at the GFS model in regard to things. So this model is actually quite aggressive in the last time I looked at it. So we are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur. Like I said, these two systems will kind of reconnect here, kind of across the early morning hours here for tomorrow. Is kind of when we are expecting, maybe around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of when we are expecting these systems to kind of, or these two halves to kind of reconverge to one another across the region there. That is kind of when we are expecting that to occur. Now, guys, like I said, we are expecting a lot of ice accumulation to occur across bits of the southern plains, and through bits of the bits of the Arkansas region, kind of across bits of the Midwest, and through bits of the Ohio, Tennessee Valley, as well as bits of the Northeast here down the line. Now, as we do track down here in time, we are expecting a lot of the snow to start entering the region here, kind of starting here, honestly, kind of starting right now. This will eventually track its way up here to the Northeast down the line. Currently expecting, so we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts with the system, as this new area of low pressure will track its way up here to the Northeast here, driving all of this along with it. So we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts to occur out of the system here. So that is our current view in regard to things. So then we do track down here in time. We will have another area of low pressure that will develop. It does look like here for the 5th, it will cause maybe some snow across with the upper Midwest into the northern plains here. Another system here down the line may be being possible in terms of things. And then that is essentially what we are talking about right now. So guys, that is our latest view in regard to the GFS model. So let's go ahead and switch on over here to the ECMWF model in regard to things. So the same story is expected to occur. We actually are currently seeing that gap that is taking place between these two systems at the moment. So this is currently what is happening out right now. So obviously, the same idea is still there. We are expecting to see a lot of the snow and ice drive its way up, continue to drive its way up here to the east-northeast here at the moment, eventually causing a lot of impacts across a lot of these areas here, eventually exiting bits of the Northeast. And another area of low pressure might impact bits of the northern plains as well as the upper Midwest here down the line. So we'll just see what happens here. We'll see what happens with the system, guys. So like I said, please stay safe out of this. We are expecting a lot of craziness to occur. And guys, we'll continue giving you guys the latest coverage in regard to these systems because, like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of impacts that is currently going on. So, Guys, we're switching on over here back to the live radar view. This is our current view here across the nation. This is currently what we are dealing with here. Let's go and see here. Andy says, can we see sleet totals? Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here at that here in a second. Let's go ahead and go over the radar view for you guys real quick. So this is currently what we are seeing. We do have a bit of dry air, a little bit of a gap between these two halves of the system. That is currently going on across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois here at the moment. And like I said before, these two systems will converge. These things will connect once again, basically later on tomorrow morning. Basically kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning is kind of when we are expecting the system to kind of reconnect with one another. Is currently what we are expecting as of now. So, Andy says, can we look at the sleet totals? The answer is yes. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Back at the models real quick. We're actually going to pull up here the National Weather Service blend of models. So just like I said, it just takes a whole bunch of models and kind of blends them together, giving you the best idea in terms of what we might expect. So here is what we are expecting in terms of ice. So let's go ahead and switch on over here to the National Weather Service blend. And let's see what we're dealing with. So this is our current latest model in regard to the National Weather Service blend of models. No, this is ice. Now, like I said, we are expecting a lot of ice to occur. And the heaviest is kind of set to fall across bits of Arkansas. Now, according to this model, like I said, it just takes a whole bunch of models, kind of blends them together. This one kind of shows the potential of maybe up to 3/4 of an inch across the eastern side here of Arkansas. So we are expecting a decent amount of ice to occur across these regions here into bits of western parts of Tennessee as well as western part of Kentucky. We are expecting a lot of potential ice to occur across a lot of these regions here, all the way from the southern plains, guys, all the way from bits of central Texas, all the way up to bits of the northeast, including southern parts of Maine. So this is over 1,500 miles of ice that is expected to fall across these regions here, which is absolutely crazy. We are expecting a lot of ice to fall out of those regions. Now, in terms of snowfall, according to this, we are expecting a lot of snow to fall as well. The latest models have actually been kind of in the support that we could see well over a foot of snow across these red shaded areas. This does include bits of eastern parts of New York, as well as bits of Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as bits of Maine as well. Seeing the potential, we could see a decent amount of snow to fall out of the system. Potentially, like I said, over a foot being possible across a lot of these regions. So not only is ice going to be a concern, but snow is as well. We are seeing an absolute mess between a lot of snow and a lot of ice across a lot of these a lot of the country here. So this is currently what we are seeing here across the nation. So guys, we're going to go ahead and move back over here to our national radar view. This is currently what we are currently talking about here. Let's go see happen. Oh, let's go see. Andy says, will 1 inch of ice happen with the system? It is honestly not really expected. The max potential is probably going to get up to maybe half an inch at max. Kind of what I am set to forecast. If it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen around across bits of Arkansas, because Arkansas and western parts of Tennessee is where we are expecting the heaviest amount of snow and ice to occur, or ice, I should say, not snow. The heaviest amount of snow is kind of expected across bits of eastern New York, as well as bits of Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as bits of Maine. Across this region. So like I said, guys, we do currently have this thing split up into two different systems here, two different halves we actually do have currently going on here. So we do have a bit of drier air that is kind of separating these two systems, or these two halves, like I was saying here, across bits of Illinois as well as Missouri. Now we are starting to see the snow starting to build, creep its way back into bits of the places here of the Midwest. Starting to kind of creep its way back up here into the region here, Missouri and Illinois. So that is currently what we are seeing here. We are starting to see, eventually down the line, these systems will, these two halves will eventually converge once again, eventually causing, this whole system to be just one long mess in terms of a lot of heavy rain and a lot of heavy snow and ice to occur down a lot of the system. So guys, that is essentially what we are talking about. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys in regard to personal forecasts, as well as if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns or anything like that, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely gladly help you guys out in terms of things. But guys, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break here for a minute. So guys, hang in tight. We'll be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So guys, we'll be back here momentarily. Alrighty, guys, we are back. Hope you all are doing okay. I hope you guys are staying safe here. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. Definitely try to get to them for you all, because I'm sure you guys probably have a lot of questions in regard to Snowfall and stuff like that. So if you guys are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. And we're just going to go ahead and continue giving you guys the latest information regarding this. So this is what we're going to do. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. So we'll go ahead and give you guys the latest information regarding this winter system. We are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is currently happening here. So this is currently what we are seeing. So guys, if you're just now joining us, guys, like I said, guys, honestly, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe. So this is the current radar view we are talking about here at the moment. This is currently what we are seeing here at the moment. So we actually are currently seeing a lot of heavy snowfall, as well as a lot of heavy ice that is actually currently ongoing here across a lot of the region. So guys, like I said, please stay safe. Hope you guys, hope you guys are protected and you guys have all of your things you need in terms of like winter equipment and stuff like that. But guys, so we are currently seeing this system kind of split up here into two different segments. We do have two different halves here. We have one across bits of the central and southern plains, kind of just starting to creep its way into the Midwest here currently, as well as this other system that is impacting bits of Indiana, as well as bits of northern Ohio. We are currently seeing this. James says the long-range models for February look very interesting, with a lot of very cold along possible more snowstorms as well. Quite a change from what they said about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's the thing about those forecast models. So James, the climate models, they do change quite often in terms of things. We can actually take a look at those here in a second, if you guys want to. We'll take a look at the future conditions in regard to things. But yeah, they do tend to change quite a bit. But we basically just go off of the current weather patterns. Like right now, we're in a La Nina, which usually causes for more moisture. Right here, where we currently are seeing a lot of rain at the moment. Kind of across the Ohio Valley, as well as across the Northwest. It's kind of where you usually see a little bit more precipitation, as well as a little bit more warmer temperatures across the Southeast. But lately, this has actually not been the case, because we've seen that system that those ice storms that impacted the Carolinas, as well as that blizzard we did see across the Northeast just a few days ago. So we have been seeing a lot of craziness that has been going on here. So yeah, James, they do change quite often. So guys, let's go ahead and move on over here. We're going to take a look here at the Climate Prediction Center forecast in regard to the models here. That's actually brought up a pretty good point. We should probably take a look here at these here in 1 second. So let's go ahead and find this for you guys. We'll take a look here at the Climate Prediction Center here in a second. If I can pull it up here, if I can find it. I have so many different tabs I need to keep track of and stuff like that. But guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here. So it looks like I don't have that tab anymore, unfortunately. But we'll just go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and turn on share screen here. So now we're going to be taking a look here at the models, the latest forecast models in regard to your, in terms of your, climate models, like I was saying here. So here is your CFS. We're basically taking a look here at your average anomalies in regard to conditions averaged out over a few years. This has actually been recorded since, I believe, 1980 into 2010, I want to say. So this is kind of what we are seeing here. This is the weekly forecast. We should probably change it here to monthly, kind of what we are expecting here. So we're taking a look here at the latest models. Now this one we just turned into February, so we don't really have the latest. So honestly, yeah, probably weekly would be the best here in terms of this. So we do track down here. Now there is some support of the possibility. We actually just now starting to see this model come out. Obviously, we do have a bit more of a jet stream that is currently going on here from the upper northwest, driving its way all the way down. So that might actually lead to more probability here, kind of for mid-February, that we might actually see a little bit more snowstorms across bits of the Ohio Valley, as well as bits of the southeast yet again. Because like I said, we are seeing that dip in the jet stream that is kind of expected to occur here for the mid-portions here of February, like I am saying. So we are seeing the possibility we could see some more storms across bits of these regions here. Now, across the upper northwest, that would actually be kind of the opposite story here. Maybe a little bit less snowfall, as well as a little bit less, a little bit less snow, or in terms of storms, I should say, as well as actually above freezing temperatures, because we have higher pressure that is building in the region here. So basically what is essentially going on, I'm sure if you guys have heard the term jet stream before, basically it just drags down a whole bunch of moisture and a whole bunch of all types of ingredients needed for all types of ingredients for storms to form, I should say, not thunderstorms, but depends on the season. But right now we're not really in the season for thunderstorms, but this actually will allow for the possibility we could see some more storms kind of across a blue area here, as we do track here into the middle portion here of February, according to your CFS model. Now, in regard to precipitation, honestly, it's probably going to be quite a little bit more dry across these regions, kind of where you are seeing this kind of yellowish tan color. This is kind of where we are expecting maybe some drier conditions, across a lot of the country here, guys. We are expecting a lot more drier conditions to fall. A lot more drier conditions across the regions. Now, in regard to temperatures, honestly, it's actually going to be quite cold again. We're kind of probably see a similar setup in regard to what we just seen not too long ago. Maybe some colder temperatures across bits of the eastern side here of the USA, and through bits of the southern plains across the region. There is kind of where we are expecting those below average temperatures, maybe for the mid portion here of February across bits of the east here, across the blue shade area. Now, obviously, this is the west. This is opposite here on the west hand side, where it is a little bit more red. Basically showing that there is a lot more warmer temperatures that's expected to go on across those areas here, as well as a lot more higher pressure, which usually allows for a lot more warm temperatures to drive the way up here and through bits of the southwest. So that is essentially what we are dealing with, guys. So guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great night so far. Hope you guys are staying safe here. Obviously, we're doing some pretty crazy stuff that is currently going on here. So let's go ahead and take a look here back at the radar view in regard to our current system that is currently impacting the nation. This is our current view at the moment. We are seeing a lot of impacts that is currently unfolding here. Across bits of this kind of pink shade area, we actually do have some, a lot of sleet and walls of freezing rain that currently is falling across a lot of these regions here. Like I said, this will continue to track its way up here to the northeast, allowing for a lot more heavier accumulation to occur across bits of Texas, central portion of Texas. We are seeing a lot of ice that currently is going on. Just now starting to kind of move its way into the Dallas area. Last time I checked, it was 34 degrees Fahrenheit, but obviously as we start to get, as the sun starts to go down, temperatures will also drop as this system tracks its way to the east here, because we get more colder air behind that cold front. So this will likely turn into freezing rain here. Just in a little bit. We're kind of right here on the border, kind of near the Fort Worth area. It kind of looks like we are starting to transition here into freezing rain across these areas here. So we are currently seeing this that is occurring across the region. We are seeing a lot of heavy snow that is driving its way through bits of Oklahoma, as well as bits of southeastern Kansas. You can kind of see across bits of the central and southern plains. It's starting to move its way into the Midwest. Areas of Springfield, maybe just now starting to kind of get some more snow out of the system here at the moment, as well as basically just south here of Kansas City. Kansas City kind of right here between this little dry air swatch here at the moment, so it might be seeing a little bit more snow showers than anything. So that is what we're seeing here. Now, there is a bit of dry air that is kind of separating these two halves from the same system here, but like I said, this will eventually kind of reconverge. These two areas will eventually reconnect here down the line, causing a lot more snowfall and a lot more ice to fall across a lot of these areas here. James says that even the March could be tricky month as well. Very changeable weather from very cold to very warm temperatures, since the March is a very cold month with even more snowstorms as well. Typically if we do have more colder conditions across the southeast as well as bits of the central plains for the winter time, it usually means that we could see some more severe weather in the springtime, because a lot of that colder air kind of just lingers in the upper atmosphere. And once you start to get the surface to heats up, it starts having a lot of instability starts building in. Basically, a lot of interaction between that warm air on the surface and that colder air above, which actually allows for a lot of thunderstorms to pop off. So yeah, that is a possibility. The fact that we have been seeing a lot of colder temperatures across the eastern side here of the nation, it's definitely not helping that situation at all in terms of not seeing much thunderstorms. It's honestly probably going to have a bigger potential, because like I said, we are currently in a La Nina right now, and we are probably expected to be in a La Nina by the time our severe season actually does come in here. So honestly, we probably will start to see some pretty crazy severe thunderstorms across bits of the southeast as well as the central plains here later on here for the springtime. But guys, if y'all are just now joining in, I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe with the system. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So this is currently what we are dealing with. We do have a split in the system currently. We do have a bit of dry air that's kind of taking over across bits of Illinois and western Indiana now. Don't expect this to last for long, because these two systems, or these two halves, I should say, will reconverge here. Kind of around 5 o'clock in the morning here for tomorrow morning. We are expecting these two systems, or these two halves, to converge once again. Allowing for a lot of ice to really start falling across bits of the central plains, southern plains as well, all the way up here through bits of Kentucky. So we are expecting a lot of heavy ice. Honestly, this is actually expected to go all the way up here to the northeast. So from the northeast all the way down here, we are expecting a lot of heavy ice accumulations. We'll get to that here in a second in regard to things. But like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of moisture being drawn up here from the Gulf of Mexico. If you look at the previous frames here, you can actually see that motion. We actually do have some flood watches in effect that is in effect kind of across some of these areas here. Basically showing that we do have the possibility of some flooding, because we have all of that excessive rainfall we are currently dealing with across the area. So they are seeing a lot of rain across the southeast. We are seeing a lot of ice across bits of the central and southern plains, as well as a lot of snow across bits of those regions as well. Now, like I said, we are currently starting to see, a lot of that snow starting to build its way in across bits of western parts of Missouri as well. We're just now starting to see a little bit more snow build its way in the region here So that is currently what we are seeing here. And like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy snow falling across bits of the northern portion, or northwestern portion here of Ohio as well as bits of eastern portions of Indiana. Kind of just now starting to exit out on the central and western side of Indiana as we start to get kind of building into that, that warmer air, or that I should say more drier air, I should say, across the regions there. So that is currently the view we are talking about. Like I said before, guys, these two parts will definitely converge later on down the line. And that is kind of what we are expecting to happen here, guys. So, guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are doing good here. James says March can have the biggest snowstorms, too, since the blizzard of 1888 happened back then, with a lot of snow that fell back then. It really just depends on conditions. Like, right now, and it depends on also location as well. Like, right now, like I said, we are in the La Nina, which usually in the typical pattern does allow for less snow to occur across to the southeast, but in the latest few weeks, this has actually been kind of the opposite due to the Atlantic. Giving us more of a northeastern track, which is actually, that's a perfect arrow right there. But giving us more of a northeastern track, which has been allowing for a lot more snow shower, a lot more snowstorms, and a lot more ice storms to occur across the east. Now we are kind of starting to fade out of that pattern, but like we were taking a look at the models again, that might actually draw its way back here down the line. So, kind of for the mid portion of February, we actually might see some more storms. Yet again, more snowstorm potential across the eastern side of the country. We'll continue to monitor this quite closely because, like you did say, James, the models do change quite rapidly in regard to things. But guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely get to them for y'all. So, this is currently what we are dealing with. We are actually dealing with a lot of craziness with the system that currently is going on here. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on over here to our future radar view. We're going to take a look here at what we are expected to see here down the line in regard to timing with the system, as well as a whole bunch. We're just now starting to get another model that is coming out here. So we'll go ahead and look at the previous model running before that. But we'll go ahead and take a look at that here right now. So, guys, switching on over here to the future radar view. This is currently what we are seeing. So, like we did see on the actual radar view, there is a bit of a split here. A bit of dry air that's kind of separating these two sides here to the system. But take a look at this. We are seeing some snow that is falling all the way from the eastern portion here of Canada. This will actually continue going up a little bit further. From eastern portion of Canada all the way down here to the southwestern United States. Over 2,000 miles of snowfall is currently falling out of the system alone. We do have an area of low pressure that's located way up here to the north, to the northeast. Is actually drawing up all of this moisture and really driving in some really cold air in the back end of the system here. So this is currently what we are seeing. Like I said, guys, as we do track down even further, we will continue to see all this ice start to drive its way across the Midwest here. Kind of for this purple shade area, we're talking sleet, more freezing rain across this pink shade area. Now, like I said, Arkansas is kind of set to be the main threat in regard to ice. Probably seeing the worst ice out of the system here. Potentially getting up maybe near a half an inch being possible according to these regions. Now, for the majority of you, probably 3/10 to 4/10 of an inch across the areas. But like I said, locally higher amounts up to a half an inch can definitely not be ruled out across the region. Now, areas such as St. Louis, you guys did just get impacted by this other part, about this first part of the system, the first half. But you're not done yet. Like I said, here comes this other part. It's going to start to impact the region here of St. Louis, kind of around, the 2 o'clock morning here, mark here for, tomorrow morning here. And like I said, as we start to kind of reach here, these two systems will kind of converge here, kind of around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. These two halves will reconnect once again across these regions. Continue to drive a lot of ice here across bits of the southern plains. It's still icing across the southern plains here at this time, and through bits of these regions here. So we are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur across a lot of these areas here down the line. And then we'll continue to see all the snow drive its way up here to the northeast, allowing for a lot of ice and snow to fall across bits of the Ohio Valley, as well as eventually across bits of the northeast as well. Now, this system will fully be out of the United States here, kind of across the evening hours here on the 4th, kind of around 7 o'clock p.m., maybe some snow showers will kind of remain across bits of the northeastern side here down the line across the region. So that is currently what we are seeing here that is expected to happen across the nation. But guys, like I said, I hope you guys stay safe with the system. We are currently dealing with a lot of mess that is going on with this. And so this is the future radar. I'm going to go ahead and play it back for you guys so you can kind of see what we are expecting. So this whole thing is just jetting itself to the northeast. That's essentially what it is currently doing here at the moment. And like I said, this will draw in a lot of moisture. It's currently drawing in a lot right now from the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the southwest. We'll actually get a little bit more moisture drying its way in the region here, only just fueling the storm quite a bit out of the regions here. So guys, like I said, please be safe out of this. Obviously, we are dealing with some pretty crazy conditions in regard to this in terms of heavy icing and heavy snowfall across a lot of these areas here. So guys, that is essentially what we are talking about. So let's go ahead and zoom on back here to our current radar view. This is our current view across the nation. And like we were saying, if you guys are just now joining, we do actually have a split inside of this winter system. We actually do kind of have some dry air that's kind of separating both of these halves. It's kind of located across bits of the Midwest here into Illinois at the moment. This is currently what we are seeing here. We actually are expecting these systems, like I said, we are expecting these two halves to eventually reconnect here, basically later on here. Basically for the early morning portion hour here is kind of around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. We are expecting these two halves to reconnect once again, allowing for a big jet of ice and snow to continue to drive its way up across the Northeast, or across the country, I should say, up into the Northeast eventually. So we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts in terms of ice. We are seeing a lot of ice that's already falling across a lot of these areas here, and it will only continue to fall across a lot of these selected areas here further down the line. So this is currently what we are seeing here in regard to this. So guys, let's go ahead and move on over here. We're going to take a look here at a current view. We're going to go ahead and move on back to Oklahoma City, so we can currently see it actually is snowing at the moment. So let's take a look here at Oklahoma City. We'll go ahead and take a look at a live view in regard to what is currently going on here. So like you see, it is currently snowing across the region. So let's take a look and see what we're dealing with in terms of that live camera view. So switching on over here, this is Oklahoma City. Obviously the visibility is quite low due to heavy snowfall we are seeing. We actually are currently seeing a lot of heavy snow bands really starting to drive its way into the region, overall allowing for a lot of snow accumulation to occur across these areas here. So this is currently happening at the moment. And like I said, guys, it's not showing any signs of letting up anytime soon. Honestly, it's probably going to be snowing for the next few hours as well across bits of Oklahoma. Honestly, probably even longer because, like I said, we are expecting another kick in the system to occur across bits of the southern plains, which will allow for a lot more moisture to drive its way in the region and overall feeling the potential of a lot more heavier snow accumulations across the area. So, guys, that is essentially the view here in Oklahoma City. So, switching on back here, guys, to our radar view. If you guys are just now joining us, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys are staying safe with this system. This is the system we're currently dealing with, a relatively long system. It's currently driving some snow all the way from the bits of the eastern portion of eastern portion here of Canada, all the way down to the southwest. Over 2,000 miles of snow is currently falling across these regions, so we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts out of the area here. So, guys, like I said, please be safe with this. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So, like I was saying before, we do have a bit of dry air that's kind of separating these two halves of the snow that is currently falling across bits of the region. So, areas of bits of central and eastern parts of Missouri, as well as bits of Illinois, kind of in this dry zone at the moment, but don't expect that to hang around for long, because like I said, as we start to approach, kind of these morning hours, we are expecting these two halves of the system to once again converge across these areas here, potentially allowing for, more snow and ice to fall across those regions. So that is currently what we are expecting here across the area. So guys, like I said, please be safe. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So guys, let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to go ahead and move on back to the live camera view. We're going to take a look at a new one this time. We're going to take a look here at Buffalo, New York. This is in western New York. We'll take a look at this one and see what we're taking a look at current conditions across the region. So we'll go ahead and switch on over to that here in 1 second. So stay tuned for us for 1 second. We go ahead and pull up this. But guys, like I said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope you guys are staying safe. So switching on over here, guys, to Buffalo, New York. This is our current live view in terms of things. We do have some rain that is falling. Honestly, the temperature is kind of right here on that freezing mark at the moment. We actually are seeing, you can actually see right here, camera just froze here for a second. But we actually are seeing, if you pay attention to these, kind of these puddles here, we actually are seeing a lot of that, a lot of the rain actually falling here, because we are seeing the raindrops hit this puddle, allowing them to splash. So this is obviously showing that it is raining across these regions here at the moment. And obviously, we do have some snow that is piled up on the roads. But like I said, guys, this is eventually expected. The transition here into snow, almost pure snow, as the system continues to track its way up to the northeast. Across these areas here, we could see the potential of maybe up to a foot of snow being possible. In terms of things, maybe 8 to 12 inches being likely across a lot of these regions here. This is for Buffalo, New York. So across western New York, we are expecting a decent amount of snow to fall across those regions there. So, even across bits of the eastern parts, Vermont, New Hampshire as well, potentially getting up and over potentially getting up and over a foot of snow. It's definitely not definitely not can be ruled out at this point. It's definitely possible across these regions here. But guys, I hope you all are staying safe. Like I said, I hope you guys are prepared for the system. So I want you guys to do your part and make sure that you are ready for the system if you are being impacted by this system, because we are seeing a lot of potential impacts, a lot of heavy icing, a lot of heavy snow. This is the type of event you never want to see, because this is actually driving in a whole bunch of hazards. Not only is snow a concern, but ice is as well. And let me tell you, ice is something you do not want to mess with. ice is what causes everything to go wrong. I mean, snow is somewhat, snow is somewhat dealable in regard to things because it's not as slick, but it is definitely slick. But as we start to kind of get in ice, that's where things really start to kind of get bad here. So, switching back here to the radar view, guys, this is our current view. Like I did say before, guys, we are currently seeing basically a split here between this portion here. We are seeing a split between the system. We do have a bit of dry air that's currently getting in between the system here, between bits of Illinois as well as eastern portion here of Missouri, not Michigan. So we are currently seeing some dry air that is driving its way across the area here, allowing for a little bit less snowfall to fall across those regions. But like I said, once we move up in time, these two areas will once again converge across these areas here, potentially allowing for a lot more heavy ice to drive its way up across to Arkansas. Like I said, Arkansas, we are kind of expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur across those regions there. So that is currently what we are expecting here to occur down the line, guys. Like I said, that is kind of what is expected here at the moment. So, like I said, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. If you guys, honestly, because like I said, we are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is ongoing. So, honestly, information is the best kind of source you can have right now in regard to things. I'll definitely try to get to your guys' comments if you have any. If you guys want me to do a personal forecast in terms of, specific area you want to see how much snow and ice you might be able to expect across the region, also throw it down in the chat below. Definitely try to get to it. And as well, guys, if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing. That'd be greatly appreciated. We're almost here at, honestly, we're almost at 350 subscribers. We're getting kind of close, guys. So I want to go ahead and say thank you guys to all of your support once again, guys. You guys are the best. Let's go and see here. James says, getting tired. Good night. And everyone say, yeah, good night, James. Glad to see you. Glad to see that you did join here for a little bit. And I hope you have a good night as well. So, guys, that is currently what we are doing here with Across the Nation. This is our current view at the moment. So, that is essentially what is going on here right now. So, guys, like I said, if you have any questions and any reports in regard to Snowfall, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. But, guys, we'll be back here in a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and go on break here for about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, guys, hang tight for a little bit. We'll be back here shortly. If you guys do want to support the channel, we actually do have our donations in the description as well as the chat. You guys can help us out. I'll help our future live streams. It'll be greatly appreciated, guys. But, guys, we'll be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So, hang tight. We'll be back shortly. Alrighty, guys, we are back. I hope you guys are doing good. Sorry for the wait here. We're just taking a little bit of a break. But, guys, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe here. We are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is impacting the nation in terms of ice and heavy snowfall that is currently going on here. So let's go ahead and get everything all set up. We're going to actually go ahead and take a look here at, in terms of things, we're going to take a look here at the current radar view, which we are taking a look here at right now. So this is what's currently happening. So we do have a bit of dry air that's kind of separating bits of these two systems. We do kind of have two halves that are currently going on across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois. We kind of are seeing a bit of dry air that's kind of separating these two systems. Now, once again, these things will converge kind of across bits of the early morning portion hours here of tomorrow morning. These things will actually become one system yet again. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy ice that is falling across bits of central portions here of Texas and through bits of southeastern Oklahoma. Like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur out of these regions as this thing does track its way up here to the northeast, eventually dumping a lot of heavy ice across bits of Arkansas, potentially getting up here and over, possibly even over maybe a half an inch of ice to occur across this region. So this one continues to drive its way up here to bits of the Tennessee-Ohio Valley, eventually into the northeast. We are expecting a lot of crazy stuff to happen here. Let's go and see Lua join. What's up, Lua? Glad to see you here. Hi, it's raining here and starting to freeze on contract. Or I think I meant to say contact. What's up, Lua? I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad to see that you're doing okay here. So yeah, let's take a look here. So across bits of the region, we are seeing a bit of mixed precipitation across the northeast. We do have some snow showers kind of in effect here across this white shaded area, basically showing we do have some snow showers across the northeast. We also do have a mixture here of actually some rain showers as well, or actually some, I should say, freezing rain showers as well, some sleet storm or some sleet showers as well. Kind of mixture of precipitation kind of across this pink shaded color here. This does include bits of the Buffalo area. I'll take a look at the live view here in a second across these regions, but you know, honestly, we are seeing a lot of mess that's currently impacting bits of the northeast as well as bits of the south, and this is only going to continue to happen here over the next several days here. So guys, like I said, please stay safe with this. Do not be driving in these conditions. These are the conditions you should not be out in. You guys need to be staying safe with this. You guys have any questions? Feel free to throw them down in the chat, guys. I'll definitely try to get to them for y'all. As well as if you guys want a personal forecast, I will definitely try to get to that as well. But guys, like I said, we currently are dealing with a pretty crazy situation in terms of a lot of heavy snowfall, as well as a lot of icing that is currently ongoing here across the nation. So guys, like I said, please be safe out of this. Lewis says autocorrect. Yeah, the autocorrect can get kind of annoying sometimes. But Lua, I'm glad to see that you're okay, and I'm glad to see that you made it alive out of that last nor'easter we did see. It was actually kind of crazy. We did see a lot of heavy snowfall out of that system that did impact the northeast. What was it, just last week? It was quite a bit of snow that we actually did see, and now we're already starting to see another powerful system. This one's more for the central interior portions here of the country. We are obviously seeing a lot of craziness that is going on. Like I said, we are currently having a gap in between kind of the center of the system here at the moment. We are seeing a bit of dry air across the central and eastern portion of Missouri. This does include the St. Louis area. But this, like I said, this will not hold on for too long. Eventually, this will reconnect with one another. This will eventually cause a lot of snow and a lot of potential ice to drive its way up here to the northeast along with it. We are expecting a lot of heavy ice to occur. So, guys, like I said, please stay safe with this. We are dealing with a lot of craziness that is going on. Like I said, do not be on the roads. You do not want to be on the roadways right now because right now we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts of winter weather across these regions. So, guys, like I said, please stay safe with this. If you have any questions, throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them. But, guys, this is our current view here at the moment. So, let's go ahead and move on over here to a live camera. We're going to take a look here at Oklahoma City because currently we can actually see it is snowing across the region here. We are seeing a bit of snow that is currently falling across the area. So, let's go ahead and take a look here at a live view here in Oklahoma City here. This is the latest view here in regard to things. So switching on over here, we do have some pretty whiteout conditions. We are seeing a lot of poor visibilities that's currently going on here across the region due to all the snow we are seeing fall. This is quickly accumulating, and as we did see on the radar view, this is not showing signs of letting up anytime soon, because look at this. On the radar view, we are currently seeing Oklahoma City right here in the center of all this mess. This thing is tracking its way up here to the northeast. So honestly, this is basically just showing that it has to go through all this snowfall by the time that, Oklahoma City does kind of get out of the system. So we are still expecting the potential of several hours worth of snowfall to fall across the region. So we are expecting a decent amount of accumulations, mostly just kind of 3 to 5 inches for a lot of these areas here. with locally higher amounts definitely being possible. But a lot of the areas here, we are expecting some pretty significant ice totals as well. Like I said, especially across bits of Arkansas, we are dealing with a lot of heavy icing across the regions here. So this is currently what we are currently seeing here. Now across the northwestern part of Arkansas, we already starting to see a lot of ice drive its way in the region here. For Fayetteville, we're actually seeing a lot of ice that is currently ongoing. Here pretty soon, I'd say within the next few hours, we're going to start to see a lot of that ice push its way here into bits of the central portions here of Arkansas, allowing for a lot of ice accumulation to start occurring across these regions here. This does include bits of Little Rock as well. Eventually, also in western parts of Tennessee, we are expecting a lot of heavy ice accumulation to occur, potentially up to a half an inch at max being possible, which if you do not know, half an inch of ice, doesn't sound like much, but it is honestly very, very catastrophic. There's a lot of impacts, tons of power outages are probably going to occur out of this, because you start getting a lot of ice pulling down on these power lines. It causes them to snap, and all types of issues start to kind of pull out here. So, guys, like I said, you do not want to be in this mess. Like I said, you do not want to go out. Do not drive anywhere, because right now is not the time to go drive. Even if you're kind of in between these two parts of the system, we did see a little bit of snow that did impact the region earlier. So we did see a lot of impacts that has already occurred across these regions. So guys, like I said, please be safe in terms of things. Make sure that you are prepared for the system here. Let's go and see here. I don't mind snow. I hate ice. Yeah, that's the thing. The ice is more impactful than snow. I mean, snow, yeah, snow is beautiful. Ice can honestly be beautiful too. Don't get me wrong. But ice is not something you want. Ice is completely messy. Way worse than snow, at least by 10 times as worse as snow. Because like I said, we are seeing snow, it isn't really, it's slick, don't get me wrong. But once you start to get pure ice, that's whenever you are literally cannot go anywhere without slipping on everything. So freezing rain does cause a lot of, a lot of accumulation. It looks like normal rain. That's the thing. Look out for black ice, guys. It looks like rain, but it totally is not. It's actually snowfall. Or sorry, it's actually ice, I should say, not snowfall. Snowfall would obviously be white. But like I said, once you kind of reach that, the road, if it looks black, it looks just like it's wet. It's actually most likely going to be, most likely going to be dry ice. Or sorry, not dry ice, black ice. I've had a long day, guys. But most likely will be black ice across the region, especially if the temperature is below freezing. Even if the temperature is just now starting to become above freezing, you actually might have a little bit of black ice as well before it melts. So this is the current radar view. Like I did say, guys, this is currently what we are dealing with at the moment. We are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts currently impacting the country, currently across the regions. And like I said, this will eventually reconverge with one another here down the line. So let's go ahead and move on here to the future radar view in regard to things. Now, like I said, we are currently seeing this system that is doing a lot of craziness, really just now starting to impact the region. So we'll go ahead and get to the main rift here of the system here right now. We'll take a look here at the timing in regard to things. So currently it is 9:21 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to go ahead and switch our time here to 9 o'clock. So let's go ahead and zoom on over here to the future radar. This is what we are expecting. And what we are seeing on the current radar view is actually lining up pretty good with this. A little bit of dry air across bits of Missouri as well as Illinois. And like I said, we do have, the kind of break in between these two systems. Or the break in between, same system, but, two different halves here. So, here's the thing. Like I said, as we do track down here in time, we're going to start to see some, freezing rain as well. A lot of ice starts to kind of build in across bits of Arkansas over the next several hours here. We are expecting some ice to start building in the region, sleet, freezing rain across the region. This will continue here into tomorrow morning. Now you'll kind of see here, like I said, there is that dry air that's kind of separating these two halves across bits of Missouri as well as bits of Illinois. These will eventually reconnect yet again here for the early morning hours here, kind of around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning here for tomorrow morning. We are expecting these things to reconnect once again. We are expecting a lot of heavy ice to fall across bits of the southern plains and through bits of the Midwest, as well as eventually the Ohio Valley, and even down the line we're about to see even up into the northeast. So we do track down here in time. A lot of ice starts falling across bits of the western side here of Kentucky here, especially Louisville. It looks like you're probably going to get some pretty heavy impacts out of this, considering that you are in that freezing level and you are seeing a lot of freezing rain across the region. So we do actually have an ice storm warning that is in effect across those regions. We'll get to that here in more in a moment. But like I did say, guys, we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts across the region. We do have a lot of snow that is set to fall across a lot of these regions here. Now, like I said, we already did see a lot of snow that did fall across bits of, kind of the St. Louis area. Now, just because it's not snowing right now does not mean it's over, because we are expecting the second system, or the second half of this system, to start impacting the region here, kind of across bits of the early morning hours. We're kind of talking around 2 o'clock in the morning here. So let's go and see. So let's go and see. Being a long couple of days, I made a huge fish chowder last while. While I have power, I'm going to make crackers. Nice, Lua. I'm glad to see that you are preparing for this. It's probably going to be a long couple of days for a lot of people, because like I said, we are seeing a lot of heavy impacts down the line, we are seeing a lot of potential nastiness. I mean, it's already going on here at the moment. We're already currently seeing a lot of craziness that is going on here. But like I said, guys, the system will track its way up to the north, basically to the northeast here. It will drive a lot of snowfall across the region here. Honestly, like I said, potentially getting up here. Pretty good accumulation across bits of the northeast, maybe up to a foot across bits of the western side here of New York being possible, as well as bits of the areas here of Vermont and New Hampshire. Honestly, with some freezing rain definitely being likely as well, kind of right here across the region. Eventually, this system will be out of the region here, basically on the 5th, kind of across, or sorry, the later portions here of the 4th, kind of evening here of the 4th, kind of around maybe 6, 7 o'clock. I'll be out of the region here completely. So that means we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts of winter weather to occur over the next several days now. Like I said, guys, we'll probably be going live. We'll continue to go live tonight for a little bit, as well as tomorrow, as well as the 4th. We will probably be going live for both of those days, because obviously, your guys' safety is the number one concern. That's all we are paying attention to. That's basically why we are live streaming today. I want to give you guys the latest information. If you have anyone, or if you have any questions or anything, like I said, feel free to throw them down the chat. Make sure you invite your friends and family who is currently being impacted, so we can go ahead and get them in and get them updated to the latest information regarding the system, because, like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts, and this is only expected to get worse as time does drive on here. So we are expecting a lot of potential heaviness in terms of snow to fall across the region, as well as some ice. So, guys, now we're going to move on here to the forecast in terms of how much snow we are expected to see. So, switching back over here to the radar view, this is our current view here. While I go ahead and switch on over here to our National Weather Service forecast in regard to snowfall accumulations, we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts as well as snow and ice to occur. Lewis says, thank you for your videos. You're very, very welcome. I'm glad to help you guys out. Like I said, that is the main concern, is to make sure that you guys are safe, to make sure that you guys are up to date on the latest information, because safety is obviously number one priority here. So, now we're moving on here, guys. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at the National Weather Service forecast in regard to things. So, give me 1 second while we go ahead and switch on over here. So, in terms of that, we're taking a look here at the National Weather Service forecast. This is the latest up-to-date information in regard to how much snow you might expect here across the region. Now, across the light blue shaded area, this does include bits of Texas. Kind of across this area here, we actually are expecting the possibility of 1 to 3 inches of snow to fall across the region, 3 to 5 across the dark blue. And as we start to kind of reach in this pink shaded color, this does stretch over a large distance across bits of eastern Oklahoma, kind of just cutting right through central portion here of Missouri, bits of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. And as we start to get in the northeast, it starts getting a little bit more crazy. But kind of across this pink shaded area, we do have this long streak. We are expecting 6 to 10 inches of snow. That is where we're starting to get a lot more significant snowfall to occur across these regions here. Now, like I said, it starts to get even more aggressive the more we do track up to the northeast here. As we start to kind of reach this maroon red shaded color, we actually are expecting the possibility of over a foot of snow. This does include bits of western portions of New York, as well as the eastern side of the state as well, Vermont, New Hampshire, and maybe eastern parts of Maine, being possible that we could see over a foot of snow out of this system. Now, if you do not know, just the other day, they just got hit by another system that we just saw, that huge nor'easter that impacted the country, especially the coastal northeast. So they're adding just a little bit more accumulations onto that storm, because I'm sure that there is still a lot of snowfall that is left over from that, because we did see a lot of snow that did dump its way across. I think we saw 20 inches was the max that did fall. According to the observations and things, we actually did see a lot of heavy snowfall that did occur here. So guys, like I said, please be safe with this. We are expecting a lot of heavy impacts. Now, in terms of ice, like I said, we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts in terms of ice here. Let's actually go ahead and move here over to our 24-hour ice forecast. Now, this is over 24 hours. This is not over the next 2 days. There's obviously going to be more ice impacts across the northeast, but this is just covering here for the next 24 hours. So, obviously we are expecting the heaviest in terms of ice to occur across the eastern portion here of Arkansas, as well as western portions of Tennessee and western Kentucky, potentially getting up to near half an inch of ice being possible across these regions. So we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts of winter weather to occur across these regions. Now, we are expecting overall ice impacts to occur across the southern plains all the way up here to the northeast. We'll take a look at that here, the models here in 1 second. But guys, like I just said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. Let's go and see here. Wow, Lewis says we have around 3 feet of snow still on the ground. That is crazy. And, honestly, like I was saying, this is only going to increase as we continue to see a lot more snow drive its way up here to the northeast. Lua, that is crazy. I'm just glad to see that you are safe with this, because we did actually see a lot of heavy snowfall that did fall across a lot of the northeast here. And like I said, more snow is on the way, and we are expecting a lot more heavier snow to occur, potentially across some of those areas, like I did say, maybe up to a foot. of snow being possible. So the thing about this storm is just how much of an area this thing's actually covering. It's covering such a widespread area. This whole entire system is over 2,000 miles long, stretching all the way from the east. You can barely see it here, but from the eastern, the southeastern side here of Canada, all the way down to the southwest, we actually are seeing the system drive a lot of winter weather, including snow and sleet across the region. So we are currently seeing a lot of impacts out of this. Over 2,000 miles, guys, of snow, sleet, and ice that is currently going on here across the region. Like I said, this is only expected to continue on for the next several days. It's only going to get worse as time goes on here. So guys, like I said, please stay safe. Make sure you guys are prepared for the system. If you guys are not already, I'd recommend doing so now. Make sure your generator's working. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure basically you have enough gas and stuff like that for that. Because obviously, snow blowers as well. These are some pretty useful tools when it comes to systems like these, because we are expecting a lot of impacts in terms of both snow and ice out of the system. So guys, like I said, please be safe. Like I said before, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. That'd be greatly appreciated. I'll definitely try to help you guys out as much as I can. If you guys want to do a personal forecast, also throw that down in the chat below. I'll go ahead and give you guys the latest information in terms of what you might expect across your local area. So that's if you guys have any of those questions. So guys, that is essentially what we are dealing with right now in regard to things. So let's go ahead and take a look here back at a live camera view. We're going to go ahead and move up to Buffalo, New York. We were seeing rain fall over the last several hours now. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to Buffalo, New York at the moment. So we'll go ahead and switch the scenes here right now. So this is Buffalo, New York. We actually are seeing a lot of snow that is still mounted up. We do have a lot of snow that did fall from the previous system that we did see impact the Northeast. They've actually been dealing with quite a bit of snow recently, especially across the eastern coast here of the Northeast. But we are still seeing some freezing rain. You can actually take a look at the puddle right here. You can see it's moving. This is actually a good visual in showing that it is actually raining in terms of things. We did see on the actual radar view, it's kind of right there in the mixture between freezing rain as well as some just normal rain that is falling, because the temperature is kind of fluctuating between freezing and above freezing across the area here at the moment, but it is expected to fully transition into snow here further down the line. So we are expecting that to occur. But guys, like I said, please be safe out of this. We are currently seeing a lot of impacts, and like I said, this will eventually freeze, and this will actually, all that we see is right now, all these puddles will eventually be ice here within the next few hours. So because like I said, we are seeing this cold front drive its way through the region, driving a lot more colder air across the region. So this is the current view we currently do have across bits of the region. So, but guys, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. If you guys, if you are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. We greatly appreciate it. We also do have our donations in the description. If you guys want to check those out, if you support the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. We are trying to collect more money to basically get better equipment in regard to better future coverages for you guys. So anything helps, and we really appreciate it, guys. But this is essentially what we are talking about in terms of the latest view. So guys, we're going to go ahead and take a break here for 1 second. So guys, hang tight here for about 5 or 10 minutes or so. Probably even shorter than that. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I've been talking for a little bit, kind of rest my voice here for a minute. And we'll be back, guys, here in a few minutes with the latest coverage. Catch you all in a minute. Alrighty, guys, we are back. Sorry about that. Lewis says here in the mountains we have a different than the rest of the world. I have a wild rabbit and a wild turkey fighting over the birds. He has fallen into the ground from the big feeders. The rabbit won. That's not good. But guys, like I just said, if you're just now joining us, welcome. We're taking a look here at the current view here in Buffalo, New York. We actually are seeing some freezing rain that is falling across the region here. We can actually tell here by this puddle. If you take a look here on the west, or basically the eastern side here of your screen, or I should say the right side. I'm just used to saying north, south, east, west. Like I said, across the the right side of your screen, we are seeing some rain droplets that is hitting this puddle. So this is showing that it is currently raining across these regions here. So let's go and see. Yes, snow is better. Yeah, I agree. Snow is definitely better. In terms of, we are expecting a lot of ice to occur here at the moment. We are dealing with a lot of heavy ice that is currently impacting the southern plains, as well as bits of eventually down the line. It will eventually impact bits of the Midwest into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, as well as eventually the Northeast as well. So we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts. Like I said, we are currently seeing some freezing rain, as well as some rain that's kind of mixing in here across bits of the region here in Buffalo, New York. If you guys do not know where Buffalo is, it's on the western side here of New York State. This is not in New York City, as a lot of people will probably get that confused. This is on the other side here of basically on the other side of here in New York. New York City is on the eastern side. This is the western side here of New York State. And we are seeing, a lot of snow that has been piled up here. Honestly, this will eventually turn into snow again as the system continues to drive its way through. The temperature will overall lower quite significantly, allowing for whatever's on the ground right now to freeze. Because like I said, we are currently seeing some we are currently seeing some rain and freezing rain occurring across these regions here. So all this, you see this puddle right here? This will eventually be completely frozen over. And imagine driving over that. That'll be crazy here. Let's go see. Lewis says, watch out when it drops to 32. Slippery. Yeah, that's the thing. Once that freezing point, starts to kind of pull up here, a lot of the roads will look just like wet, just like this. But the problem is that little do you know, that's probably black ice, in which you guys should definitely not be traveling out in these conditions. This is definitely not the place or time or place to be traveling out at the moment. You guys should have done that before the system did impact the region. Like I said, this will impact the country. This will impact bits of the southern plains into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, as well as the Northeast down the line. We are expecting a lot of heavy impacts out of the system to occur. So guys, please stay safe out of this and everything like that. So we are expecting a lot of heavy impacts. So guys, we're going to go ahead and move on over here back to the radar view here for 1 second. And they're going to take a look here at the current outages that's actually going on here across the nation. We actually are having a lot of widespread outages just now starting to be reported here. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the radar view. So this is our current view across the nation. We do have a bit of dry air that's kind of building in here across between these two halves of the system. Now these will eventually reconverge here later on to tomorrow morning. Kind of around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, these two halves will once again reconnect with each other, delivering a lot of snow and a lot of wintry mess across a lot of the country. This does include bits of the plains into the Midwest, Tennessee, Ohio Valley, as well as eventually the Northeast here, as this system does generally track its way here to the Northeast. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and move on here to the power outage reports, because we are starting to have a lot of them starting to come in now. So, we're going to go ahead and take a look here at that. So switching on over here, this is our power outages map. California is out of power for some reason. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but that has nothing to do with this winter system we are currently seeing impact the nation. Now, Texas, we're already seeing over 11,000 people without power here. Mostly just the north central portion here of the state is kind of the most impacted with this system. Take a look at this. We're seeing in Knox County over 794 people are without power here. Like I said, across the whole entire state, we are seeing over almost near 12,000 people without power across the region. Some of these other states, really starting to kick off here. It really just varies per county, and this is only going to spread as we track down further, as we are getting a lot more moisture being injected into the system here, allowing for a lot more rain, and a lot more freezing rain, and a lot more snow to fall across a lot of these areas here, which will eventually turn into much, much bigger hazards here down the line. So this is only going to get worse. So now switching over here to Oklahoma, we're taking a look here at the state just above Texas. We actually track the state outages of almost near 10,000 people without power. Here in Canadian County, we actually are tracking here almost 7,000 people without power. We're actually taking a look here at 6,731 people without power. Obviously this is probably not the latest, probably not approximate, I should say. This is the latest information we have, but this is probably not approximate number, but it's close, I'm sure. Then we have Grady County. This is actually showing that we're kind of seeing near 3,000 people without power across these regions. So we are seeing a lot of power outages really just now starting to kind of come in here. And like we are saying, we are expecting a lot of ice to fall across Arkansas. Right now, there's about 2,000 people without power here in the state of Arkansas, and only expect this to go up a lot. We are expecting a lot of heavy power outages to occur here in Arkansas, especially with all that ice we are expected to get, potentially getting up and over a half an inch of ice being possible across the region. So guys, like I said, please stay safe with this system. If you have any questions regarding anything, feel free to throw them down in the chat, guys. I'll definitely get to your guys' comments if you have any of those questions. If you are new to the channel, guys, consider subscribing. It'll be greatly appreciated. We are trying to reach that 500 subscriber mark by the end of February, guys. I believe we can do it. We absolutely crushed that last goal, so all of your guys' support is greatly appreciated. So, switching on back here to the current radar view. This is what we're currently seeing across the nation. For the people who are just now joining, or the people who are continuing to follow along with us, we are continuing to see, this dry spot right between these two halves of the system. It's the same system, just kind of split into two different areas. It actually looks like we might start beginning a little bit of snow shower activity across bits of southeastern Iowa, as well as western side here of Illinois. But for the most part, it's actually dry across those regions. Now, like I said, as we do track down here and further down in time, we actually are expecting these two pieces to once again converge again, kind of around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning here. We are expecting these two halves to once again connect across the region here. Andy says, can normal rainfall at 32 degrees? The answer is yes, but the thing is that it will eventually turn into freezing rain. It's actually just freezing rain. So technically, no, it looks like normal rain, but, once it hits that 32 degrees Fahrenheit mark, that's whenever things start freezing. So it can actually rain because the atmosphere in the mid-levels of the atmosphere is actually more warmer, which allows all that snow to melt into rain, and it hits the ground and freezes. So to answer your question, not really, but it can rain at 32 degrees Fahrenheit on the surface, yes. But that's also known as freezing rain. Now, if it was 33 degrees Fahrenheit, that would just be normal rain because it wouldn't be freezing across the areas there. So like I said, guys, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts of both snow and ice that's currently occurring across the nation. This is only a set to impact much more of the nation here as we do track down here in time, guys. So we're going to continue giving you guys the latest coverage in regard to the system. We are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is happening here at the moment. So this is up to date. This is our latest information that we are seeing come in here. So this is currently what we are seeing going on across the region here. So guys, like I said, if you're just now tuning in, obviously welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope you guys are doing good here. We are dealing with a lot of craziness that is currently going on here. We have a big scenario we currently are dealing with. A lot of heavy ice, a lot of heavy snow is currently going on here at the moment, in which we've been continuing to monitor this over the next little bit, guys. We have been definitely been dealing with quite a bit of snow as well as a lot of ice that has been going on here across the nation. So like I said before, guys, if you're just now tuning in to us, like I said, these two halves will eventually reconnect here, kind of around the 4 or 5 o'clock, kind of around the 4 or 5 o'clock morning commute here for tomorrow morning. So Andy says, can it be too cold to snow? The answer is no. I don't believe so. Lua says, hi, Andy. What's up, Lua? I've already said hi to Lua, but, hello again, guys. I hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe here. So both Andy and Lua, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. Even though you guys have been around here for a little bit. But like I said, guys, have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely get to them for you guys. And like I said, if you have anything you want to take a look at in regard to things, feel free to, let me know. In the chat as well. Let me know what you guys want to take a look at. So we'll go ahead and go over the latest information regarding that. So, alrighty, guys, that is essentially what we are talking about in terms of the current view. So let's go ahead, take a look here at another live camera view. We're going to go ahead and switch over here to bits of Oklahoma City. Actually, we should try a different camera. We're just going to go to South Bend, Indiana. We're seeing that there was a bit of snow that was falling. It does look like there is still some flurries going on, so we're going to go ahead and switch our camera over here to South Bend, Indiana. I do believe this is across the central or eastern portion here of Indiana, so switching on over here to South Bend. Now you can actually see here on the screen, we do have a bit of snow flurries that's still ongoing across these regions here. Nothing too crazy at the moment, but obviously this will eventually change here, because like I said, we are expecting the second half of the system. It's currently trucking its way on the region. It's trucking its way on the track there. To this area here as well. So we are expecting, some more impacts to occur down the line, as well as some ice. We are expecting just a little bit more south of this in terms of this. So we are currently seeing some flurries that is still going on here. Maybe some light snow that is currently going on. But overall, it's nothing too crazy. We do have some snowfall that is on the ground. You can obviously see here, kind of being radiated by this, these lamps here. So there is a bit of snowfall that is currently on the ground. You can currently see the all the city lights behind it here. Kind of hard to see because we have my tab open in the top left, but you can see over here, it's definitely there's the city lights in regard to things. So this is currently what we are seeing at the moment. We are seeing some flurries that's currently impacting the region there. So now we're going to move on back here to our radar view while we go ahead and transition seeds, or actually transition to our scenes here. So we'll go ahead and move back here for 1 second. Andy, I did say that it can be too cold to snow. Yes, definitely. Or actually, no, it can't. Man, my mind's just all over the place, guys. Sorry, I was just in the middle of transitioning scenes, and like my brain is all over the place. So, Andy, can it be cold? Or can it be too cold to snow? The answer is actually I don't believe so. It cannot be too cold to snow. If anything, it's going to be, that powdery snow if it's way too cold. Basically showing that it is not melting at all, which just allows for, a lot of craziness too, or a lot of powdery snow to fall across the areas here. So guys, that is our current view. We were just taking a look at across bits of South Bend, Indiana. So now let's go ahead and take a look here at the Dallas camera. We're just now starting to see maybe some freezing rain starting to drive its way into the region here. We're just now starting to see the temperature just now push that 32-degree margin here. So switching on over here scenes to Dallas, Texas is your current view. Obviously the city skyline going on right here. So we are seeing a lot of that precipitation that is still falling. If you look back at the radar here for 1 second, if we look back at the radar in current view, we are actually seeing here near Dallas. Dallas is right here, kind of in between all this. Here's Dallas. We are starting to see in the later frames. This actually starting to transition here into sleet as well as some freezing rain. So this is just now starting to transition into wintry precipitation here, and we are seeing the temperature here according to this. In Dallas, Texas, it is currently 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is currently at that freezing mark. So anything that is touching the ground or anything that has fallen is just now starting to freeze up across those regions there. So that is essentially what we are dealing with, guys. So, like I said, please stay safe with this and everything like that. So we are currently dealing with a lot of craziness that is going on. So, we do have a lot of impacts that's currently going on here across the southern plains, as well as bits of the Ohio Valley here, or eventually the Ohio Valley, as we actually are seeing the second wave drive its way up here. Andy says more schools are closing in my area. Honestly, Andy, that is kind of expected to occur, just on the fact that how much snow we are expecting. Luckily, though, I don't believe we're supposed to get too much ice out of this storm. Compared to a lot of these other people, across bits of southern Texas, like I said, or the southern plains, I should say, across bits of Texas, we are seeing a lot of heavy ice impacts that is occurring across those regions. So honestly, that is what we're talking about. It looks like, according to that view, it looks like that this camera is shaking a little bit. So probably get a little bit of gusty winds across the region there as well. So that is currently what we are dealing with. So Courtney just joined. What's up, Courtney? Welcome to the live stream. I hope you guys are doing good here. Like I just said, we're taking a look here at the Dallas camera. This is basically just now starting to get some freezing rain across the region, which is actually just now starting to freeze. We did have a lot of rain that just drove its way across bits of Dallas area. And is now starting to freeze because our temperature has just now dropped to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so this is your freezing point. So now we are starting to see some precipitation that is going to start, pretty much continuing to drive its way through the region here. So guys, like I said, I hope you guys stay safe here. Lewis says all my schools are closed Monday until next week. Honestly, like you were saying, Lou, with that 3 feet of snow, it's kind of expected. We are seeing a lot of heavy snow that is still kind of left over from that nor'easter we did just see not too long ago, honestly, as well as this system that's currently driving its way across the nation right now. Like I said, this is your current view here in Dallas. We are seeing some precipitation that is falling. Take a look here back at the radar view for you guys. We actually take a look here at Dallas. Dallas is located right here. You can barely see it behind all this reflectivity that we're picking up here. But honestly, we are starting to see this pink starting to drive its way into Dallas, which is actually showing that we are starting to move its way into the freezing rain area here. Because like I said, the temperature just now dropped to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is allowing for anything that's fallen, including all that previous rain we did just see fall across the region, to quickly turn into ice across the area there. So we are currently seeing a lot of that frozen precipitation just now starting to enter the region here. And like I said, we zoom out here a bit. We do have two parts of the system, or they're part of the same. They are the same system, but there's just is a bit of dry air that's kind of separating these two systems, or these two halves, I should say. Across there. This does include bits of eastern parts of Missouri, as well as Illinois and Indiana. We actually are seeing the transition here. We actually are seeing a bit of warm air, or dry air, I should say, starting to build its way in the region here, basically allowing for a little bit of a break in snowfall. But just because it stopped snowing across this region does not mean it's over yet, because we have this other part here that's currently impacting the central and southern plains to eventually track its way up here to the northeast here at the moment. So this is what we are talking about. So eventually, like I said, move up further up to the northeast. Like I said, we are currently seeing a lot of heavy impacts of winter weather that's currently ongoing. Some snow showers as well as some freezing rain and sleet that is currently impacting bits of the northeast here currently. So we are obviously seeing a lot of craziness that is ongoing here, not only just across bits of the south, but also across bits of the northeast. We are seeing a lot of crazy stuff that's really just now starting to kind of kick off here. So guys, like I said, we're going to continue giving you guys the latest coverage here over the next little bit. Like I said, if you have any questions regarding this, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. Definitely try to get to them for you guys because we are currently, dealing with a lot of craziness. We can actually see here, switching back to our Dallas cam. So we actually start to see here, there's kind of glare here on the lens. This is actually all that precipitation's fallen. There is, just now starting to get to the region here. This is actually eventually going to start freezing because, like I said, that freezing point has just now hit the region there. And we are starting to see whatever has fallen so far actually just now starting to freeze across the region there. So that is currently what we are seeing here, guys, across the area. So, like I said, guys, please stay safe with this system. We are currently dealing with a lot of craziness going on here. I was going to see, Andy says there is a little ice on my car right now. Can we see, right now, can we see Western New York temperatures? Yes, we can. So let's go ahead and switch on over here to temperatures, guys. First off, we're going to go ahead and switch back to the radar view for 1 second while I go ahead and transition our scenes here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the temperatures that we're currently seeing here. So let's go ahead and take a look here at that currently right now. So we're going to take a look here at the NAM 3-kilometer model in regard to your future radar in terms of the temperatures here on the surface. So switching on down here to bits of Western New York across the region, switching up to the northeast. So guys, now we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to our future radar. But this is the NAM 3-kilometer model. Actually, this is a past radar. Here's the future radar. So here's our temperatures across bits of the northwestern side here of New York. So we'll go ahead and go back here in time. This is not the latest information here. So it's currently almost 10 o'clock here in the afternoon, or the evening here, I should say, across the region. So it is currently 10 o'clock. It is kind of isolated freezing points here across bits of the northeast. But as we start to see this cold front advance its way through the region, we are expected to see a lot of the temperatures really start to plummet here, especially across bits of Western New York, like you're saying, kind of around the early, or kind of like the later morning hours here, kind of possibly around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning here. This will really start to drive its way down. I mean, take a look at this. We are expecting to see some very, very cold temperatures drive their way down in the country here, well below freezing. Some areas here in the negatives in the single digits across a lot of these regions here. Now, across bits of the northern plains into the upper Midwest, we are actually expecting some even crazier conditions to occur. Take a look at this. So we are seeing the possibility of well up to maybe even near negative 30 across some of these regions here. Take a look at this. So this model is actually showing to get up here in the negative upper 20s here. Some of these models, like the GFS, was actually showing the possibility that we actually could see maybe up to negative 30-degree temperatures across bits of the western side here of Minnesota, as well as eastern portions of North Dakota. So we are currently seeing a lot of cold temperatures. This is set the forecast here. So this is for the early morning hours here around 8 o'clock in the morning for tomorrow morning here. So overall, guys, we are expecting a lot of craziness to occur here. And this will continue to drive its way down here into the country as this cold front continues tracking its way to the east. So that is our current situation here. So moving on back here, guys, to our live radar view. This is what we're currently taking a look here at the moment. We are seeing two parts of the system. We do have two halves that are currently impacting the nation. One is currently impacting the Ohio Valley as well as the Northeast. We do have a lot of rain that's currently impacting the Tennessee Southeast as well. Like I said, we do have some flood warnings that are, or sorry, flood watches in effect across bits of the Southeast. Kind of across where we're getting a lot of the excessive rainfall here. So we are expecting the possibility of some flooding to occur across these regions here. Now, like I said, we are actually seeing a lot more snow and a lot more ice that's currently falling across the plains and through bits of the Midwest, as well as bits of, these areas here. So we are seeing a lot of ice that's currently occurring kind of across this pink shaded area. This does include bits of the central and north central portion of Texas, all the way up here, up to the southeastern portion here of Oklahoma City, as well as the northern portion here of Little Rock, or northern portion here of Arkansas. I was looking at Little Rock when I said that. Eventually, this will track its way into Little Rock, though. Andy says, do you think that GFS overdoes things all the times? All the models do overdo things. They each have their own moments. Sometimes they're, more crazy than others, believe it or not. But, like I said, you really shouldn't trust models individually. They're kind of just more guidance than anything across the region there. So, guys, that is currently what we are seeing here. But, guys, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here for about maybe 20 minutes or so. So guys, we'll be back here shortly. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat. I'll definitely still be active in the chat. If you guys do want to support the channel, we do have our donations in the description below. You guys can check it out. You can basically help us get a better, better coverages for you all and better equipment and stuff. But guys, like I said, we'll be back here in about 20 minutes or so. So hang tight for a little bit. Go out, get yourself a drink or whatever, and just sit back and relax. And guys, we'll be back here in a few moments. So see you guys here in a second. Alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a stream for tonight. I decided that I'm going to go ahead and end it real quick for you guys. We'll probably be live in a few hours again, guys, because we are currently dealing with something. We're going to go ahead and get more things ready for you guys in terms of everything. So, guys, I'm sorry if you guys are just now joining us. Hope you guys stay safe. We'll come back here